actually, using a song I've done before.
Do you have a song tonight, Nick?
Yes, I do. I'm always happy to have a song ready.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm glad that's how he always reacts when he's asked.
Peachy little Southern Belle, isn't he?
Yeah.
So peachy.
All right, fine. You got the Ramblecast. You got the Ramblecast. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what the Ramblecast said, 'cause you got the Ramblecast.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I had no idea that song was specifically written for Toy Story.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until like a couple years ago. And I was like, oh, that's actually was written for the movie.
It's interesting how, Randy Newman, even though he has two kind of careers, he was he did have albums and he had success as a solo artist, but almost from the very beginning of his career, he was doing movies, scores.
Yeah, he did a Major League.
Yeah, he had a song for Major League. Yeah, but you have The Natural, you have Awakenings, you have Toy Story, you have Monsters Inc. There's so many movies. Three Amigos. He wrote all the songs in Three Amigos. He wrote.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So he's made some money.
A little bit. Yeah. What'd you say, Chris? Yeah. So
even that super long part.
Well, he wrote the no. Yeah. He did write that.
Amigos.
So there's two people. He didn't write the scores, all the that music, but anything that has lyrics, he wrote.
That's cool.
So Blue Shadow, the Three Amigos theme. What am I forgetting? Shit. My Little Buttercup.
You son of a
bitch. He wrote My Little Buttercup.
8 years old, and he's still touring.
There's a box.
I thought that was an old song from the 40s.
That's how good he is. He's like a fucking actor.
He actually wrote the little part where they're in the village and Chevy chases the guitar and he goes.
Yeah.
There actually was a
of course there's
for him to sing called Happy that Randy Newman wrote for that scene, but Chevy of course just had to did it's just funny. Here,
I agree with
Randy
Juan.
Newman released a box set.
I Love LA is the worst song ever. I used to change the lyrics though to I Hate LA.
Oh, that's real.
No, I had the whole. I had a whole thing. I had a whole song to it.
Okay, of the four of us though, what would the listeners claim to be the Woody and the Buzz? Because on one hand, I would say that Jack would be the Woody because he's into cowboys and westerns and kind of old fashioned.
And according to last week's podcast, no Woody.
no Woody.
Anyway,
he's the blue pill Woody.
Yeah. So you're saying he's the slinky dog? He's all stretched out.
He's a slinky dog. Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
This has been out of print for a long time, but this is a Randy Newman box set of 30 years. So this came out in 98.
Huh.
But it has in one of the discs the 4 demos for the Three Amigos. So it's him singing all the songs.
That's cool.
Yeah, I always like getting box sets for those kind of things. It's just
I always like getting box sets for the box.
I like box sets. What? Oh, you're talking about CDs? My fault.
Chris Dora, it is a Houston Oilers hat.
That's where the Houston Oilers.
It's awesome.
Houston Oilers.
Is that a corduroy?
I rarely have anyone. It's kind of like what Carhartt's made out of.
Every time he touches it, you can hear it. It's corduroy. Corduroy? I can't even.
Corduroy.
I'm gonna
corduroy.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. It's been a week.
Top of the day to you.
Randy Newman still singing. He's still touring.
How is Randy Newman?
78 years old.
He's so old.
I thought he was
they
older.
changed his name.
And it's worth. I mean, I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl. I was really happy to see him because he does tour, but he rarely tours.
He's touring right now in Ireland and in England.
Yeah.
Let's go see him.
And he's a good show. It's
Let's use those fat stacks, Jack. You got your plane ready?
I got it.
Yeah, he's a lot. He's like a lot of good. You know, like,
I have a
singer-songwriters.
I have a mask.
Oh, shameless plug here for a product and company that's not going to sponsor us for shit, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Speaking of money, I just got this little bad boy in the mail.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if you've gotten one of these yet, Nick, but this is a
No.
Coinbase debit card.
I don't need any more cards.
Well, no,
Thanks
you
for the
don't.
numbers,
but you need,
dude.
but you need this one. So the way that this one works is that you preload it with USD coin, like digital coin,
NFTs,
and you use it like a debit
whatever
card.
you
And
want.
you get 1 to 4% back in other other types of crypto.
Oh,
Back to your account.
Wow.
It's brilliant. I mean, I'm probably going to throw away my American Express debit card and just use that exclusively because you get 1%
So you're leaving
in Ethereum or
leaving home
Bitcoin
without it?
So you get 1%
wait,
Yeah.
back
so
in Ethereum.
it's a debit card or a credit card?
debit.
So how do
So
you
you use it by first of all you link it to your Coinbase account,
okay.
and you preload it with US dollar coin, the digital dollar, which is there's no exchange, there's no up and down. It's just always a flat 1 for 1.
I am the digital
So
dollar.
you add that to your account. So as an example, I'll use it tonight. I'll show you what I use it for tonight. I'll
Oh wow,
put my,
you just bought that sex pic. That's cool.
what?
Nothing. I
Say
don't know.
what?
I'm just
Buy
because the listeners at home when they're listening to this.
Yeah, so
they
I'll show you here. Like here is my account. So I put $100 on it, and I went to the liquor store. I went to the pet store, and it's definitely not picking up. The screen is a little bit blurry,
Yeah,
but I get
you get the
instant.
gist.
I
You get the
need
gist of it.
better. I need better
So I'm earning-
resolution to get your card number.
I'm earning 4% back in XLM, which is stellar lumens. You can get 4% cash back with either the Graph amp or Rally or stellar lumens, or if you choose, you can do Bitcoin and Ethereum or Dogecoin or DAI at 1%. So it's free money. You know, why bother? It doesn't. They don't charge you to add money to it. They don't charge you a conversion fee at all to use it. And you just get crypto back.
Nice. I mean, it's
So
very
I'm probably going to. Well, yeah, but it's small is better than nothing.
I mean, if you're going to be using your
That's what
card,
she said.
That's what the ladies always tell me. At least you know what I mean.
there's money on the table.
And Juan, no,
Yeah.
we're not too young to get. They don't leave home without it. That would be the American Express. Just like Wesley Snipes sliding into home place, he never steals home without it. Thank you very much. Reference show,
Oh.
Major League.
I think they were talking about
Randy says
American
he wants to hear
Express
some Star Wars
travelers checks.
Oh, Randy, you want to hear some Star Wars talk, dude?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Guess
well, you know
what Chris just got?
You know, I
Yeah.
think we can probably make that happen.
Yeah.
We
Go
can-
ahead. I'll
we
watch.
don't
I'll
lose.
watch the end of the Aztecs basketball game first half.
That's
who?
the only team you have left to root for, Jack.
I know. I'm watching the San Diego State basketball game.
I
Well,
kid.
it's good to know we're your number one priority.
The Reds are one
So,
side. If you're going to talk
I-
Star Wars,
It's currently school vacation week, and I took the week off to be with
Your daughter.
my family, because my wife
Okay.
is also off. Jack, thank you
Okay.
very much.
Nice.
well, I just saw Instagram with your daughter.
Because she also works at a school.
Dude, now does she get the week off? Is it like a
My
president's
wife does,
week?
yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
it's February vacation week. in
February
Massachusetts.
vacation week. It's for lovers.
That too.
Come to Massachusetts. We get February off. And it gets you off.
Are you drunk?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just what?
Speaking of getting off, but not really getting off. Did you see
Okay.
that on the it was like the last day of the Olympics? I didn't watch the Olympics, but it was a skier that it was a cross country skier to where it was so cold that his penis froze.
I did.
What?
I have that written down.
His
Oh,
dick
okay.
froze. Can you imagine that
Yeah.
shit? Your
Oh,
dick
that's on
freezing?
Jack's
Well,
notes for tonight.
To be fair, he was wearing jeans.
That's funny.
Thank you guys.
I guess it's common though.
I didn't.
That's what I read the article because I'd never heard of it, and I'm like going, God, how cold is
Frozen
that? I mean,
dick syndrome?
Yeah, well, it's what 30 miles or whatever to 30. I don't know what the whole thing is, but I was like, you think they'd be prepared and dressed warm for the. But yeah, he hasn't frozen. He said it was extremely painful
Yeah, I can
No
imagine.
doubt,
Your
no
dick
doubt.
froze, bud.
to have a frozen penis.
That's
I mean,
That's
So-
the thing of nightmares.
I mean, if you're asking me, would you rather have Olympic gold medal or your penis? I'm going to choose my penis.
I'm gonna choose my penis every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, most guys have a penis.
I
I'm
won't have to
taking
pay
the gold
tax on my
medal.
dick.
Yeah, they don't tax your dick. They tax the gold medal.
They tax the gold medal.
I still like to have a gold medal.
So, okay. We're going to talk about Star Wars for a hot second. So
Yes.
it
Okay, go
is all those stuff still over there. So I talked to you guys a little about last week and the week before about how I want to kind of change my office around and add some shelves.
Right.
I did that today too.
Nice.
I'm going to give you the
pretty
solo
fucking
layout here.
Oh, thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually going to flip my screen around here. So I put some shelves in.
Whoops, not me.
There's one up there.
Oh, yep. Uh huh.
One over there. So
Nice,
Is that a
nice,
little
nice and
room?
level. Nice and level. Yeah.
you might say, well, why is it all way open over there? And that's a good question. That's because when you do
What's
these-
that hole? What's that hole in the wall?
Oh yeah, I definitely put a hole in the wall.
That's a really tiny hole.
But I did that
Sorry,
because
penis.
the door opened.
He said he had a tiny penis. So
What's in the closet?
What's in the closet?
Tom Cruise.
My furnace.
Oh.
Oh,
I got it.
Aren't you glad you asked? But here is the first to add to my Lego collection. My daughter and I put together to the Boba Fett helmet. It's pretty awesome. It even has the dent.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
oh,
Pretty cool little working boom thing. What do I call this? This little radar thing, or I don't know what the fuck you call it.
It's a
all the
scope,
Star
yeah.
Wars fans are laughing at you right now.
Oh,
Go ahead.
But it was actually, I was pretty impressed. Like how it's
Yeah,
a complete solid thing too. So you essentially are building his skull and then the helmet on top of it, which is kind of cool. Like no discernible shape of like skull, like structure or anything. But it's just
So
like
does the helmet come off the skull or is it all just
No.
one thing? Okay.
It's all one thing, but it's solid through and through. So it's like it's like literally straight through. It's all Legos on the inside. You can kind of see it from there a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually really, impressed and probably somewhat surprised at how significant it actually is. I thought it was going to be a little bit less than that, but it came out pretty nice. And that's the new piece. That's the Boba Fett. And I've got the Mandalorian helmet coming in whenever it releases. And I also picked up the Millennium Falcon from 2011.
From 2000. Oh yeah, you made a purchase.
I found that on what do you call it? Let me turn that shit off. Sorry. I found it on
The
Bricklink. I found one on Bricklink. I bought it.
I have never
currently en
used
route.
Bricklink.
I was a little bit wary at first, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because more than half, I would say 2/3 of the stuff is actually coming from Russia
Well, that's why you need to on your
or
filter.
the Ukraine. And I was like,
Yeah.
I think it's probably a terrible idea to buy anything from those two places right now.
Yeah. I usually, because like you'll pay out the ass for shipping. I did that once. I bought like it was one little piece or something, and I forgot to click only U.S. sellers, and it was from like I want to say it was from Ukraine or somewhere. I ended up paying I think $40 or something like that, which is not really a lot of money,
Yeah.
but for one Lego piece, it's a shit ton of money.
Well, I mean, that's why I paid about $30 to ship the Falcon.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. It's a lot of weight.
So you can purchase individual pieces on there.
Yeah,
like if you
so
just
you
want
can buy sets or individual
Okay.
pieces if you know the part numbers you're looking for.
Yeah, because I'm looking. I don't know if you guys have seen the DeLorean, the time machine.
Saw the
Back
movie.
to the Future.
You
Back to the
mean
Future Lego ideas set that they came out with, which
like
isn't.
2015.
It doesn't look like a great build. Actually, it's just kind of like blah. And
It's-
so I don't
well,
really want to pay the price for that.
the one that came out 2014, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's you're right. It's what makes it neat because like the top is not really anything impressive. There's no windows or anything. It's
Right.
just kind of like but what makes it neat is that you can change it to whichever movie you want. So the first one is just a standard DeLorean with the way it looked. The second one you can make it where the wheels turn under, and then you change the license plates out and put the flux capacitor on the top. And then the third one, you can put the thing on the hood and then have it the red, the white walls. You can change it to where it's all three films, which
I
is
think I
pretty
need to
cool.
get that. I mean,
Yeah,
need to get this one.
I've looked. Are you
Shit.
encouraging me to
God
just
damn
buy
it.
it? No, I'm looking at. It's very
I'm
expensive.
about to buy it. I might buy it right on Armandio.
And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at my parts and seeing like, can I build it? What parts? What's special?
Well, you're still
because
talking about Legos. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean like there are certain parts. That
Holy shit! I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
And for the number of pieces you get out of it, it's like what the hell?
How much is it going for, Chris?
It's like 200,
250.
right? Mm-hmm.
That's really not that bad for a 7-year-old set.
It's about 200 on StockX right now. So I've looked at it and I've just been like
188 on
thrown in the
StockX.
tot.
I mean, that's why
I'd rather just
That's why
just
it's so
build it
important to get them
Mhm.
when they come out. If you really want it,
Mhm.
you should get it within the first year of it coming out, because
Right.
some of those sets, like the Tron light cycles, those are
Right.
only out for like 9 months or 10 months, and then they were
Yep.
gone. And they weren't expensive either. They were like 15. So in your head, you're like, oh yeah,
I think they
15
were
bucks.
30.
Were they
I think
30?
it was,
Okay.
but now it's like double that.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't crack that without the Tron light cycles are cool. It's weird though because they give the female figure swords and she never really used swords in the movie. You're like, what?
Well, yeah. What was
So-
her name? Kara, or I forget what her name.
Kara, yeah, you're right. I think it is.
She
Kara.
had swords, but they were like they were the blue,
Right. They weren't.
katans. But like,
Yeah, they
it's
give
the
her
only-
like these samurai.
Yeah,
kind
it's the
of-
only thing that I
kind of
guess they could
things.
do for her. But yeah, like
the
a lot
other
of
the
those
other
sets-
Lego idea one that's out of print, but it was inexpensive when it came out, and then it was here and gone. Was the Beatles Yellow Submarine?
That's what I was about to
which is-
say. Yeah,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
submarine. Yeah, and that one had very unique colored bricks to it too. Like it's the orange.
Wait,
bricks that come with it.
hold on a second. The DeLorean is coming back as an electric car. Is that a joke or is that real?
No, it's
As-
real.
Juan, do you mean like it's going as like a Technic set or?
No, I think you're talking about for real, like a
real
car.
I
Oh.
thought it was a real car.
Oh, okay, I got you. Like a real car.
Is that for
Gotcha.
real?
You for real there, Juan L.
The DMC-12, better known as the DeLorean, will be back in 2022 as a fully electric sports vehicle. Get the fuck
Interesting.
out of here.
I'm
Oh,
bleeding,
my.
I'm bleeding again here. So hold on a second.
Oh my. I'm excited.
Me too.
You notice how
Okay.
you notice how Matt got up and left as soon as Hawaiian started writing to us.
Yeah.
The anti-Mexican.
That's awesome. So shit. So I will say I also ordered something today. I didn't realize how long it was gonna fucking take. Let me see if I can find it real quick and share my screen when Matt gets back. You ever heard of Wicked Brick? They're a British company.
It's
Yes.
so wicked.
So I ordered this stand. Matt, if you wouldn't mind sharing screen, I'm
Sure.
gonna share my screen real quick.
Oh, Wicked. That's all they make, right? They make like glass.
They make
plastic
stands and shit.
stands. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to find a cool stand for the Millennium Falcon once I do get it in. And I ordered this guy here. I don't know if you can
Did you see the one that? Yeah.
see it or not.
Is that one for that one? Because I know they make one for the big Mamma Jamba.
Yeah, this one's specifically for the 7965. That's
Oh, I
the
see,
one I
yeah.
ordered. And they put these little cool little things on it. But this is actually kind of cool too. They add little figurine stands in the bottom of
Oh,
it too.
nice.
Yeah.
Minifig stands. I didn't realize when I bought it, because it doesn't say anywhere on here. I double checked after the fact. It doesn't say anywhere on here that they're looking to ship this thing out in 6 to 8 weeks. It's like, you pricks. But yeah, so apparently it's a 6 to 8 week lead time on it. But it was like $35, $40, or $25 plus shipping across the pond. But
I
That was
just love
kinda
how
cool.
like Matt. I'm not sure if it was on here or privately, but like a week or two ago when Chris was telling us super not this thing about him kind of getting into Legos and putting in shells, like me and Matt were both like, "Oh, you're gonna go down a dangerous road." You know?
he's fucked. Here I am.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure. So I think especially too with having kids around, you're just like, oh well, it's like they enjoy it, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
like,
yeah.
Well, it's like so the room that I've got set aside for Legos. I've got so much to do before I get to it. I paint it and build shelves and all things like that. But there's a spot on my stairwell that's just a spot that where the stairs are going up. But there's a spot where you could put something, and I was like, that would be a good spot for like a little Hoth scene. And so, like I sent
Lo
pictures
and behold.
yeah. So today I sent pictures to Chris and Matt. I built the shield generator.
Not you,
from the
Jack.
Battle of Hoth.
I know.
Yeah. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't have cared, Jack.
That's nice to be included. Thanks.
That's why you're not in the Owen and Bruce. You'd just be like, oh, another fucking Star Wars meme, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've already been breaking out my old software, like when Lego used to make an actual like AutoCAD like software where you could actually build like scenes, and so I'm already measured it out like what the whole layout will be. I'm like, okay, this is going to cost me a small fortune, but but I'm hoping to have it done by midsummer, and then I'm just going to build like one little section at a time. So I've got the the generator built, but now I have to have like a base for it to sit on top of, and it'll be cool.
You might need to build yourself a generator just to keep the AC going by that time too.
Yeah.
You would? What?
I don't even have an AC. Yeah. I don't know.
Summertime.
Because it's going to be getting hot in there? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, all
in
of that lady action that you're going to pull in from all that doing those Legos.
I'm going to see Nick. Not that it's going to get hot or anything, but I'm going to see Nick this summer.
In August, yeah.
In August.
Oh,
look how fucking jealous he is.
I guess this is just how you guys have this private.
Well, I mean, the full story is that I was trying to get Nick included on a trip that I'm taking to Red Rocks this year. But unfortunately, I couldn't get tickets at face value, so I didn't want to put that upon Nick. Yeah, I'm going to go see with my wife, my buddy Jeff, his wife, my buddy Matt, and his wife. Oh my God! Sorry.
Man, I could smell that from here.
I'll explain why I'm burping after this story. Jesus Christ.
Like
has to do with my name right here. But going on to Colorado for a little bit of a long weekend, and hopefully I can grab dinner and some drinks with Nick on that Friday evening of that weekend.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town.
It is nuts. Like I remember 20 years ago when I saw Paul McCartney, and I was like on the third row for $220 a ticket. And to me, as a 21-year-old, that was a lot of money.
Sure.
Now that's like standard, to pay that much. And because like I told Chris, Fleet Foxes, which is a harmony band I liked, are also playing in Colorado. I think in April or May of this, coming. And I was like, oh my. I froze up again, didn't I?
Yep, you did. Fleet Fox is coming back into the area.
So,
love to see Fleet Foxes.
Yeah, Fleet Fox. Yeah, I saw them at the Hollywood Bowl a few years back on their third record release. I was like, oh, this is, and I was like, man, I'll go check it out again. But the tickets were like $140 a piece, and I was like, I don't want to spend that kind of money. Yeah. That's
why I ended up paying for these tickets for my morning jacket too. The face value was there were $65, but I ended up paying like $165 a piece plus all the bullshit fees and whatnot.
But I tell you what the deciding factor was. It's because I'm old, and even though they were $140 a ticket, it was all general admission. And I was like, I'm not paying you $140 to go stand there for 2 hours.
Right. But the venue is pretty awesome. So that'll be for my wife. That'll be her first time to go to Red Rocks. It'll be my technically third time, second trip, third show. But I'm pretty pumped for it. Like, so after this summer, she and I will both have been to both Red Rocks and the Gorge. So we're kind of like checking off a lot of these bucket list places that we want to go to. Not that the end is nigh, but just this shit we like to do.
No one said that was. Huh?
No, we're just concert junkies. That's what we like.
You never know. Station 11 could happen.
It's true. That is true.
Oh, so someone's watched some Station 11, eh?
You watched like the first 10 minutes and then fell asleep. Yeah.
No. I watched the first 7 episodes.
Just the 7, okay.
Okay, you're getting close. So, but I do, yeah. Okay.
I'm still with you.
Yeah, it looks like we lost Jack to Station 11 because he's just disappeared here. But
he's the prophet. Or whatever it's called.
Working on your composition over there, Jack? What's going on?
No, I'm trying to find you guys again.
Oh, okay.
We'll
always be here for you.
So, Jack, 7 episodes into Stations 11. What do you think?
Yeah, I gotta thank Matt and Nick for recommending it. I'm really enjoying it.
That's what we're here for, Jack.
I Chris, have you seen it?
You know what? I can't remember if I saw that one or not.
I got to be honest. I love the first episode, and the second episode, I'm like going, okay, what the fuck is
Right,
going on here?
right.
Mhm.
I go, what the fuck? I go, you set me up with this, and then you go completely. I guess I'm not really
Completely left
spoiling
turn.
it.
Yeah.
I go, so about the third episode, I go, oh, I get it.
Yep.
So finally, not that the second episode was bad. It just was like, what are you doing?
No, it's because you're in the because I think I even text Chris about that too. It's
sure did.
I watched the first one and I loved it, and then it takes you a totally different story in the second episode. And you're like, oh man, and then eventually
Because it leaves you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
The first one. Then I go, all right, when are you going to get to the
Right.
We're not going to get to it, bastards.
Yeah.
And so I was a little pissed, but then I went, okay. But I remember how Nick and Matt said, such great things about it. I said, okay, I gotta keep going. So yeah, I was trying to watch it today, but my granddaughter kept trying to watch it. It was the 7th episode, and it gets kind of a little trippy there. I will say this though, the rap song was better than the halftime show.
The rap song.
The rap
song. Oh, the rap song.
Oh, in Station 11?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, now I remember it. Yeah.
I did think the person was going to fall through the window.
Oh.
So much so. Yes.
Yeah, I kept saying, well, that's what they're setting us up for. No.
I think too, just, it's weird because the show makes certain things happen, so you're kind of on edge, and like even the music, I noticed, like it keeps you like kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, they're gonna hug and they like each other now. They've resolved this. Like
I do like the fact that there's so many. I think you guys were talking about twists and turns you don't see coming.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was like, well, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, I can't say it, but I didn't see
the good part about it is the series is kind of filled with those. Like it doesn't stop with just one, right?
It does not stop with
one.
No.
There's a few of them, and
there's one I was like going, I never saw that coming.
And they do such a great job of of pacing those out along with the story. Like kind of like they don't bash you over the head with them every week. It's very well put together in the sense of like the timeline. So I hope you.
And then I was mad at a character, but then after you watch the 7th episode, you kind of understand why they did what they did.
Right.
Because I'm like going, how can you do that? And then now I kind of understand because, well, I won't spoil anyone. But I said, okay, I'm glad they went back and showed us that because I hate it. I loved that character in the beginning, and now I hate him. But now I don't hate him anymore because I understand that it's really not his fault.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, I think it's in the 2nd episode where we're introduced to kind of like the main protagonist, and that person gets stabbed. If you remember, like I said, the character's name or anything, but I remember.
A lot of people get stabbed.
I remember immediately. Yeah, I remember immediately going to Chris like, "What the heck, man? You don't do that. You have to double tap. Like you have to, make sure. Like,
yeah.
But then later, you're like, oh well, kind of glad.
Yeah, because
why did he double tap?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the same there. Why didn't they double tap?
I don't know if it was Matt or Chris that said that it's like Lost Light.
It's probably Matt.
Yeah. Okay. Probably Matt or Nick. That it is kind of like Lost, where you don't like a character, then you like the character.
Mm-hmm.
So
they did a significant amount of character development in one season of a show.
Yeah,
right.
That most shows take multiple seasons to accomplish, and they did a really nice job of it.
And in a nice way that you feel satisfied with the character arc.
Yep.
Like each character, like, and characters that you thought were minor that become larger.
They became major.
Yeah, they become major. Like and in that way, it does kind of play like a piece of music because there are different parts that kind of cycle through. Nick, I can see that you want to say something. You're like,
well, I don't want to like spoil Jack. He's only on episode 7, but it's one of those where I know Chris and I both kind of like text back and forth after we're done with the show. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm really happy with the series. It's really good, but we're just gonna sweep
one thing under the rug.
Under the rug, yeah, like that didn't happen. Okay.
That son of a bitch strapped landmines to kids.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And you're just like, okay, all's forgiven.
Are you spoiling me?
I didn't say it, Chris.
No,
But,
that already happened.
That's why we don't listen to Chris.
You've already seen
I saw the landmines, but I didn't know at the end there was no closure.
There's lots of closure.
There's closure. There's closure.
You're very satisfied, but like when you start thinking about the whole series again, and you're like, wait a minute, we're just gonna forget about that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like It's a Wonderful Life. Like they never get Potter. Potter never gets his. I mean, he basically like stole the money. So which is also my favorite. Christmas.
You guys a miserable
SNL.
Sketch. Juan makes a very good valid point. He used to like one of the hosts, but now he doesn't.
I wonder which one that is.
I don't know. Let the mystery be, I guess.
Matt, I was also curious about the book, knowing that this show is based on a book, so the book ends differently, is what.
So Matt, while
in the whole show about a book.
Well, yes, it is, but it's also the show is based upon a story that was written.
I'm just fucking.
There's also a play within the play.
Matt Treist, what percentage would you say that the show is to the book? Like, how different is the book? Because if it's significantly different, I might consider reading.
Mm-hmm. I would second that emotion.
It's funny how like when they do stuff like that. One of the ones that always pops in my brain with things that are different, like the movie The Shining, the Kubrick version of it. He changed the ending. He changed a lot actually, and that's why Stephen King did not like his version. And then the sequel came out a few years ago called Dr. Sleep.
Oh right.
But in the movie Dr. Sleep, it has the original ending of The Shining, and so you're like, well, how does Dr. Sleep end? Because that's my brain going like, well, how does the book end? How does that end? And so now I've got the book. I haven't read it, but it's just like I want to know how it ends. Anyway, a show. I mean, did Juan get back to it yet? No, or Matt? No, the book. No. A show I wanted to recommend. It's only 2 episodes that are released so far. It's on Apple TV called Severance.
What was it called?
Called what?
Severance.
Oh yeah, that's next on my list.
Oh yeah, with what's his name?
Yeah. Sorry,
what's his name with the who's and what's
Scott?
Scott Eric? He's on
no
Scott.
Yeah. Scott. Something Scott with
Bale.
Scott, right?
Okay, so
Bio.
Matt says it's 89% faithful.
Okay,
that's pretty.
That might be worth a listen.
The guy from
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And Party Down, or whatever that show was called, Party Down.
Sorry, Nick. Go ahead. What
yes.
you were trying to explain to us the show?
Yeah, so Severance is there's 2 new shows that have come out on Apple TV recently. One is Severance, and the other one is Suspicion. And I was like, okay, I'll give Severance a shot first. I watched the first episode, watched the second episode like back to back, and automatically I was like, oh, I like this, because it's one of those that's going to make you kind of be intrigued with, because the premise of it is that he works at this company, and they don't really they look for code, like with suspicious code and all this, but they don't really tell you much about it. But what they all have to do is they implant this thing into their head that separates their memories and their lives. So whenever you enter the building, your memories shift to where you only remember work, and that's it. And when you leave the building, you get your life back. And so a lot of people have already posed, like in the first and second episodes, it's like, well, doesn't that make you go crazy? Because all you remember in those other memories is work. Like you don't get a day off. You don't remember sleep. You don't remember anything. It's like you're there the entire time. And it's interesting so far, just as like, are these people going to snap? Are they going to go crazy? Will they start murdering people? You don't know what's going to happen yet. So I'm just like, it's kind of got me intrigued so far.
Yeah, that's some Black Mirror shit, right? So it's like you gotta think like you don't.
Adam Scott's the name.
Adam
Oh
Scott.
yes, Adam Scott.
So you have because you would just have that part of your consciousness would only know a never-ending work cycle.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's
But then your
yeah,
other part of your consciousness has a never-ending non-work cycle.
Yeah, you've never experienced work. Like all your experiences is your life.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Yeah. And he's on a date in the second episode with this woman, and he admits it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm severed, or I'm severance," And she goes, "Well, doesn't it like freak you out that like you could be working with a woman and having an affair with her at work, and yet you have no memory of your wife and children at home?" Like it's all these weird things that you don't think about, and you're like, so they're putting all these different little seeds in your brain. Of like, yeah, I'm like, that's interesting.
That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
that shit freaks me out, dude. Like I don't. On the other hand, I've been watching Suspicion. I haven't watched this last week's episode, but so far I'm really enjoying that show.
Okay,
there's definitely some.
Have Nick and Matt watched that show?
I started the first episode, but I've only got like 20 minutes into it because something else came.
Okay, I'll wait till you guys watch it.
What have I been watching? I can't remember.
Jack is such an asshole.
I went back and watched a show I hadn't. It's like sometimes you start a show and you're like, oh, and then you get, Vice Principals. After like going through my watch of Righteous Gemstones, I was like, okay, I want more of these actors, and so Vice Principals was and I think it just really kind of showcases, like, after watching Righteous Gemstones, like Goggins, like range, like the range that he does as so I guess he's gonna star in an apocalyptic kind
Fallout.
of
which could be fucking amazing, right?
It could be fucking amazing, or it could be trash.
No, are you familiar with any of the games?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I am.
So I have a feeling that it could go the way of Walking Dead.
Right.
Because the games don't have a conclusion. They just make new games.
I mean,
but the storyline that is that game is actually incredible. Like, I think they could make a really cool show.
They could do something, and if they were smart about it, as opposed to Walking Dead, they could almost like have not chapters, but like, oh, this is Fallout. This.
Oh, you know what they?
No.
This.
You
know what
Fallout,
they could do? You know what they could do is they could just put it in commercial. They put in commercial breaks
all throughout. Just commercial break it up. That's a good idea, but
I wanted to address Chris Dorian.
At this time, we're going to take
Chris.
A commercial break.
We already did that.
We've already done it. Yeah.
This is just Jack continuing his streak of not giving me fucking credit for a goddamn thing, and that's okay. I'm with it, because this will be like my version of Matt getting shit on. It's just me never getting credit for anything. So that's the episodes so far. Matt gonna get shit on. I'm not gonna get credit. I won't even get credit for shitting on Matt, which is kind of like Severance, right? Yeah. So it works out.
You get credit for shitting on Matt.
Okay, now look, I'm excited about the idea of Fallout, and I think he's a great actor. He's a
fantastic actor.
I hope that they just don't.
I wonder how many people think that, because he's in everything, right?
He is, and I'll just say, like,
works a lot.
The range that he can do, it's like he can be funny, he can be straight. He's like just one of those actors. So
I wanted to answer Chris Dorian's question, like, because he asked about Severance, like, how did they remember where they go to work then? If they, like, because it doesn't affect your brain until because you know where you work, like, you do know that, but it doesn't switch until they enter the elevator, and then as they go down to that level, it, and then it switches their brain.
Basically, what's going to happen to Chris if he keeps working at Apple.
Yeah. I did give Matt. I did give Righteous Gemstones a few. I think I watched 4 episodes so far.
Mm-hmm.
I like the premise, but like, to me, it was one of those where I kind of got frustrated in the first episode, because it seemed to be like they're a one-trick pony of like, oh, these are the same just dumb shit characters, that are just petty with each other, and it's like, can't you have a different kind of character for once, where you're not just an utter dumbass?
Sure.
But but it got
Well, it's
interesting
kinda-
at the
it's kinda
end
like
of
this
episode
show.
1. So.
No, I mean for sure. I think that's a fair critique that they are these characters, and it does kind of, and I would say that is something about even Vice Principals where it's just like, okay, I get it, you're this character, and it's just kind of
Right.
like beats those jokes into the ground.
Mhm.
Within that spectrum, though, Baby Billy is just still one of my favorite characters. And so you've seen him at least, right? You've
Oh
been
yeah,
introduced to him.
yeah. I've been introduced to him.
And his storyline is probably my favorite, just because of what happens to him, both through season 1 and then into season 2. And I think that season 2 really plays its cards better because it does bring in more of John Goodman, you know. So anyway, I hope you at least
That's
kind of
another guy-
like
that's
No,
another guy
I'll
that
keep-
works
your
a lot.
rotation. And
I'll keep watching it.
I probably binged it because during a certain period of time I was working really late at night, and so I just kind of had that show on while I was making boxes and making orders. And so sometimes you're just like burn through a show, whereas some shows you kind of like they're in your rotation, like Station 11. It was like each episode was just so, it was kind of like dense in a way where I didn't want to like just do 4 episodes all at once. It kind of left me a little heavy. Like it was almost like 2 was a good flow, and then I could mix it up with a comedy or something like that. Because
It is hard to stop those sometimes on Station 11 because I've done the same thing. I said, okay, I watched 2 of them. I need something cheery.
Yeah.
Even though there's some positive aspects to the show, I think there's a haunting quality about it in a way.
And the one actor, was it Laura? What's her name? She plays the composer.
Lori Petty.
Yeah, Lauren. Yeah, she sounds the same, but
Yeah.
she doesn't look anything like she.
Tank Girl. That looks a lot different nowadays.
Yeah,
Oh no, yeah, League of Their Own. Yeah, like
The League of Her Own too. Yeah.
as soon as I heard her voice, I knew who it was. I was like, oh, that's
yeah. She's got the very familiar voice, but it was like, oh, that's who that is. Yes.
I like her character though. And
So this week, or this past weekend, was my annual trip up to Portland, Maine that I take.
Mhm.
A place I wanted Nick to go visit all these places, but he didn't go to.
I didn't have
Nick hates you.
I know. Yeah, but anyways, so rewind the story a little bit. My son had a pretty nasty stomach bug on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. I forgot what it was. Like I was actually on a conference call at home, and he walked up to me and puked all over me. Like
Nice.
Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, guys, I gotta go." They're like, "Yeah, no problems." Anyways, I didn't go to work that day.
What a great way to get out of work.
I know, right? So he went back to school a couple of days later. However, so I went up to Maine this weekend with my wife and a few other couples for our annual trip. Had a great meal the first night, which was Saturday night. We had drinks until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Had a blast. The next day, I go out, have breakfast, the whole nine. I'm already maybe 2 beers in. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 beers in. Yeah, it's about that time. And and a Bloody Mary.
And a Bloody Mary.
But then I had to go back to the hotel room for a minute. If you're in a walking about town, you need to go sit down for a little while.
So
What I'm talking about.
you went to the movie theater.
I went to the movie there.
You went to the movie theater, and then you went to the balcony, and you went like, "Huh."
So no, I actually sit down and take a dump. I was trying to say. So I do go back to the hotel room.
I got you were taking a dump.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or is my buddy who does mortgages? He says he has to go do a pre-approval letter real quickly. That's his call sign for taking the shit. But I sit down, go to the bathroom, I lay down for a minute, and then all of a sudden, something's not right. Something is definitely not right, and I jump up out of bed. I have to run over to the hotel room, bathroom, and just unloaded. It was awful, and I was throwing up for a good solid hour.
Nice.
It was awful. And I couldn't move. I was so sore. I was like, because I was just retching, every muscle in your back and your sides get strained. I ended up missing the entire day and the amazing dinner that we all had planned out. So I got back to that room at 2:00. I didn't leave the bed until 10:00 the next morning.
Oh,
So I was in bed for like 16, 17 hours.
Nice.
And then I came home yesterday and went to bed at like, I don't know, I think like 8:00, which is completely fucking out of the ordinary for me. I don't go to bed that early ever. And I slept for 12 hours.
Wow.
So moral of the story, don't get puked on by your fucking kid who has the stomach bug, because you catch that shit and it sucks. And subsequently, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and my wife's aunt, who are here this weekend watching the kids, all got it. All got it, which is crazy because he didn't have it.
Did he get it from daycare?
Daycare, yeah. So his entire classroom had it.
it's been going around the school system here.
Yeah. So what's wild though is that like it passed through him, and he was back to school on Friday. It didn't hit me. Nice. It didn't hit me until Sunday. And it didn't hit them until Saturday and Sunday as well, which is weird how it kind of like travels. But man, it was fucking awful.
SBD, man.
No, it wasn't silent as fuck. It was loud as shit. And so tonight, I was testing out the waters. So tonight I got a burrito.
Oh,
I made margaritas. And
it's National Margarita Day, by the way.
It is, which is why I got them. I made my own.
Living life on the edge.
Which is why I'm currently podcasting, is because I think my stomach might be back.
Nice.
If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here. Or if I get up suddenly, you'll know why. There you go.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like a few months back when the Van Gogh exhibit came through Indianapolis and you went?
That's the other story.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and it came to Denver, and it was this great
opportunity. If you're a lover of the arts,
like
you are, or I am,
I
you wouldn't want to waste a ticket.
No, exactly.
There's probably people that wanted to go that couldn't get tickets.
So
I have this thing on my phone where my wife and I, we share our calendar and we put in events in there. And sometimes I'll even forget what she's doing. I'm like, oh shit, she's got an appointment.
Juan says thanks for the support. Is that for the burrito talk? That's fucking hilarious. Yeah. I got you, Fawn. I got you.
Don't change the subject.
No, I'm sorry.
This van's got to go one direction.
So your false story is not as good as the reality of what happened. So, for the record, this is 100% my wife's fault.
What is it fault?
My wife.
Oh, your wife's fault. Okay.
So,
your wife's
she's the one who got the tickets. So what they're referring to is that there's like a live Van Gogh exhibit that's been touring across the country. It's been in Boston, a couple different venues.
I'm Van Gogh. I'm here to rock you.
So it's like this really cool like projectors and like transparent stuff. It's look it up. It's fucking cool as shit. And the plan was that we were gonna go and get a little high and go to this Van Gogh thing, right? Mm-hmm. We had a babysitter all lined up for tonight, the whole nine. And then as we're fucking scrambling around today, getting shit done, she texts me and she goes, "I'm a fucking idiot." I go, "What?" She goes, "The tickets are for last week." I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me right now!" And they're not cheap; they're like $50 a piece.
No, they're not. They are expensive.
So we really wanted to go.
I can do because I'm dragging today, and I said,
we actually got to go
Thursday.
We
might waste the money and go find them again. So I mean, I really want to see it.
We lucked out because some friends of ours had something where one of their kids got a stomach bug and was vomiting, and so they were like, "Hey,
oh, here's the tickets. There you go."
Yeah. And so it was a total surprise, kind of like one of those moments where, as a dad, you're like, "Oh, it's like dark out and it's 5 o'clock. Do I really want to go do this? Okay, let's go do this." And we went, and we timed it out just right where we got there, and it wasn't busy because it's usually it can be kind of packed. And I think sometimes those surprise kind of impromptu things are
So here's my dilemma. So like, I would consider buying more tickets to see it again, right? Or to see it, period, not again. But the idea that she already paid for 2 tickets that we wasted.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that this would not be her first viewing.
Oh, she's been already.
She's already been. She went with her mom and her aunt.
So it was no big deal for her to see it again.
I wonder if you contacted them, and the venue and been like, hey, like we made a dumbass mistake and thought it was this Monday. It was last Monday. It's kind of like, when you miss a flight,
I was saying the same thing. Cool, I was like, I just call them, blame COVID.
Yeah.
See what happens. Because they don't sell out. They just sell blocks of tickets for like on the hour, right? So it's not like a curated show. Like you walk into an exhibit and it's like they only sell X amount of tickets for the 7 o'clock hour or 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever. So I'm assuming we could probably pull that off, which we're definitely gonna try.
What's crazy is there's like lots of different Van Gogh, like so there's different ones, and so it's I don't know if this is just like the way
there's more than one Van
experienced. No, there's like more than one Van Gogh exhibit that's traveling around with these kind of light projectors, and so some of them use different music, some of them use different paintings in different ways. I think the cool aspect of it is just being able to step into or be surrounded by Starry Night. Right. Who doesn't want to experience that? Like on a
right.
Do not go into the self-portrait room though, because they will try to cut off your ear, and it's like it's nuts.
They're what was weird is like
I'll share my screen. They purposely don't
my
show.
Won't work.
They purposely don't show the entire exhibit, but you can see their background on the ticket page here, which is kind of cool. So you walk into these rooms, and it's just like, as Matt was mentioning, like you're just completely surrounded by different artwork. But yeah, so you do the biography, and they do. Oh, here you go. There's some more examples.
Why the tickets different price? Is it just different levels of?
Oh no, so you have like a family package.
Family pack. Okay, I'm sorry.
1 to 2 kid plus 2 adult, 2 kids and 2 adults, or
so Jack, if you get the expensive tier, like they actually just go ahead and give you on a IV of LSD. So
nice.
So if I were to look at the schedule for tomorrow, like there's plenty of tickets available for literally every time slot.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that if we call and cry about it, maybe they'll help us out.
I mean, the tickets weren't used, right? They know the tickets weren't used. So.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. If you tell them that we purchased them, we should get to use them because we were all ill.
I would say your child was really sick because he was. I wouldn't do that.
Technically, you're not telling a lie.
No, you're not. You're not lying. Your child was.
My kid was vomiting shit.
Yeah.
Here's an image from when we went with the kids.
Oh, you have a picture. There you go.
Is that called grapes?
Had the those are
pears.
Okay.
Those are pears, Mary.
Mary.
Let's see, and then I'll show another image.
Juan says, hopefully they don't listen to the podcast. I think we're safe.
I think it's a good chance that nobody listens to the podcast.
That's not true. We have at least a good 8 number joining us tonight. There's another picture of my daughter dancing, and
Juan wants to try the truth. Okay, Juan.
Oh, dude, I should totally wear like all white clothing. You can blend into the paintings. That'd be cool.
Maybe just a floating head.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll see if I can find my one where the.
She just went right to your pictures. Screw the website. These are way better.
Yeah, this was the time that we went and there was nobody there, so which was nice because time of COVID, you got to mask up or what have you, but being able to kind of unmask and nobody else is around, so but yeah, we had a good time. This one's a little dark, but you can kind of see my family is standing in the starting.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And they had different music playing, and there would be certain things like the sky would swirl,
Midsummer Nights,
It was all
and they had a portion where like the ear, like because they did kind of a biography, and they would go through the different periods of his work, basically. So you kind of learn something, like as if you're watching the whole presentation. Well, it gets to the part where the ear's cut off. And when we went first, the opening time, they actually had a part where like there was like it looked like blood was like splattered, and it was like
It's kind of cool.
Later, they must have taken it out. Like somebody was like, "Oh, now there was blood. My kid was scared." I don't know. Who knows? But then it wasn't there later, and I was like, "You." I mean,
That was the cool part, man.
yeah. Like, why take it? I mean, you kind of knew. You know, you were like, "Oh, this is the part where." You know,
It's kind of like
Your kid has to learn to deal with reality at some point.
well, there is
Yeah.
the suicide at the end.
it's like
They dealt with
critical
the
race
whole-
theory for
Yeah.
painters.
Right. Yeah, like we're just gonna wash over the fact that he cut off his ear. I mean, there's a moment where you hear the gunshots and the crows go flying because his last paintings of the crow field, crows in the field there. You know, it's like a kind of an orange yellow wheat field with
See, this
blue
is cool
buttons.
because admittedly, I don't know shit about Van Gogh other than I know what his paintings are. I don't really know about him. You know,
That's
I don't
most
really,
people. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so like I'm looking forward to going because I would actually love to get like a, you know,
Yeah, just even an overview of kind of understanding like what what he
Well, I
was.
mean,
I mean,
know,
yes, I could
William-
read. but
William
this is way
Dafoe-
cooler.
Yeah, William Dafoe was starting a movie about him a couple years ago. It's
Mhm.
Oh, really?
yeah, it's interesting.
Huh.
He plays Van Gogh, because Van Gogh was most likely autistic, and of course never made any money, and
Um,
Oh, at
Yeah, there was-
Eternity's
there was-
Gate.
Attorneys get
yeah, there was one painting as I was.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
When did that come out?
came out a few years ago.
Actually, I have two books that prop up my mic when we record, and one is this Van Gogh book. so-
yeah, I almost bought that. It's
Oh,
expensive.
look at that.
It-
Benedict
yeah.
Cumberbatch played him too.
And so did Mick. What is it? Douglas? What? Like,
Huh.
Nick
Kirk
Offerman?
Douglas. Kirk Douglas played him, I think, in a movie back in the 50s or something like that.
Kirk Douglas.
I think so. I think it was Kirk Douglas. So
Who was
if I'm
kind of
not
an
mistaken.
asshole in life.
So,
Oh, yeah.
anyway, yeah, cool stuff though with Van Gogh. I was thinking, going, because I know Jack loves when we talk Legos. But they have these Lego ideas.
Is there a
and they have this-
Lego Van Gogh Lego?
I think they should do a Lego ideas of Starry Night.
But yeah, I could see that.
Because they do the Lego art and they've been doing a lot of those.
I've seen when they did do one, the Life magazine cover where the Apollo moon landing, where it's the actual astronaut, with the flag there. They've done one like that. It was proposed to do one like that, and it's
okay.
like a 3D, so you can, I was like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Of course, I saw it immediately. Thought of Jim Carrey. And went, we landed on the moon. But
Congratulations. I'm thinking of the elf. Never mind. Congratulations, you did it. The world's best coffee. Good night, Juan. Hope you enjoyed dinner.
Juan, you're a great chat person.
I got a lust for life.
I disagree.
Even though Matt doesn't think so. Yeah, you just said it.
I don't. It's like that's how I feel about
Matt
the
doesn't
open
like
readers.
Juan.
Hey, Jack. I watched a movie this
A
weekend.
movie.
A movie. Yeah, that it almost rivals.
Did it have sound?
Yeah, it almost rivals our favorite movie with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh my God.
I keep forgetting the title.
Doctor
Dog
Strange.
Day Afternoon.
Dog. Yeah, like dog. Power of the dog.
Lovers.
Power of the dog.
Power
Power
of the
of the
dog
dog.
compels
Yeah.
you.
But this one is my dad and mom watched it. They did not like it, so I was like, what, I'll just wait till it's free on HBO or something to watch. And it's the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon film that they wrote it together and starred in it together, and it was directed by Ridley Scott. So you wonder like how the hell could a movie be so bad? And it's called The Last
How do you like
Duel.
them apples?
The Last Duel, and
The last-
it's basically one story told from three different points of view. So you have like chapter 1 from this guy's point of view, chapter 2 from this guy's point of view, chapter 3 from this person's point of view, and then the duel at the very end. And 20 minutes into it, you're like, I don't care. I don't really care.
I think I saw previews for that.
Yeah, like
That's like the medieval.
medieval.
story.
Yeah, it's like in the 1300s, and I
Adam
totally get.
Driver's in it too.
I totally get what they were trying to do with it. It took me a while to figure, I had to think about it, but they were trying to show the prisons, like the of class within that society, because like Matt Damon's character was born into privilege, but no one respects him, and people hate him, and he always feels cheated by other people that are accomplishing things when he feels he's accomplished these things. And then Adam Driver's character was born into nothing, but he was educated because he was going to join the priesthood. But he kissed his ass to people of privilege to give him things.
Adam Driver, born in San Diego.
Okay.
Okay.
Kylo Ren. And then you have Matt Damon's wife's character, her point of view, and she's the trappings of women in the time.
Yeah, is this on Netflix?
It's on HBO for free.
Oh, HBO, that's right.
Yeah. And basically, she's really smart. She runs the house while he's off at war. But then she gets raped, and it's all these things like they don't believe women. And like so, it's all these events are from all three. You see the events 3 times from all different points of view, and then the duel at the end. And so I think that's really the point. Was like, who do you believe? Like,
dude, he's got a medieval mullet.
Yeah. Oh, the
who has the mullet?
The choice of hairstyles in this movie is very questionable. Because like Ben Affleck is a solid blonde guy. Who's and
you're looking at these pictures, man.
Yeah,
but that's like a legitimate medieval mullet, and I don't know. I kind of think it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
you can share your screen if you want to, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I forgot.
That's okay.
Pull it up.
How do you like them apples?
It just. Yeah.
Nice.
I think on paper it's probably an excellent movie. It just was executed extremely bad.
Bruh.
Ooh, that's an axe to the neck.
Mm.
Oh, she raped and she got pregnant because of it.
Yeah.
And it takes place in medieval times too. I see.
Look at that fucking thing, dude. Like
that's a
business up front, the jesters in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a Massachusetts boy.
That is crazy. I didn't know the mullet was the thing. I guess technically it could be anytime, right? That's a haircut of all time.
Oh,
I never had him
here. I wanted to put that up there.
I mean, it looks like the costume design is pretty legit.
No, yeah, the costume design's great, as in their armor and things like that. It's just, the hairstyle.
I love a good movie with costumes.
But
look at this dude. This dude is like straight off the stage with Creed, and he's coming in here to go to this medieval party. Yeah, this is weird, man. He looks like Scott Stapp. That might be Scott Stapp in medieval times.
Yeah.
What are they looking
Can
at?
this guillotine go higher?
When you said Creed, I was sitting there trying to think of any song by them. I was like, isn't one like
I was just going to The Office?
You look at these clips, you think that's going to be a Creed from The Office.
Yeah,
that was where my mind.
It looks like it'd be a good movie, but I guess not, huh?
Yeah, like you would think it would be, especially by Ridley Scott. No, I was not impressed with it. I mean, I liked it better than Power of the Dog, but.
Power of the Dog. I keep getting crap for Power of the Dog because I didn't like it, but I don't care. I'm not backing down. It sucked.
Yeah. A friend of mine said it was one of the worst movies he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Matt Tree says, I generally heard good things about it, but it ate shit at the box office.
Is that what he said?
I added shit. He put
it ate. I wasn't sure if he was trying to say, but I hated it at the box. But he's saying it ate shit at the box.
It ate shit.
Yeah.
Or it got eaten by the box.
Truth.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't impressed with it. It just, like I said, it's one of those that I really feel like on paper, it probably was a kick-ass script, and it just was not executed well.
Yeah, I still can't find the script.
Dude, you know what has a really fucking good script? Is the next commercial.
Now it's time to take a commercial break.
Okay, we're not even there yet, but sure. 3:01.
Are we in? It's now we're in.
We're not.
So we already had one, though, didn't we?
I think
we're not supposed to. It's an hour 20. I think is when we have to.
Well, you know what? Hey, get an extra one.
So Chris was a little premature.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens in older men.
Premature commercialization.
Hey, there's the episode. That's going to be the episode title. Come on, Matt.
Hey, at least he's not making fun of me.
It was a good lead into it, though. I didn't give me credit for that.
What was it? Matt actually had a funny. What was it?
Matt did.
He did. I said something about premature commercialization.
Oh, okay.
Commercial, yeah.
Matt had a funny and I missed it. That's the line of the day. That's the title.
I missed it too.
That's the title. Matt had a funny and I missed it.
Colleen's gonna be like, "Why is the title fucking 2 lines long?"
Yeah.
Why is it longer than that Fiona Apple album?
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed that commercial you didn't need.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done with the show. This is it. You know, we're good to go. Good to roll. No, I'm on a personal note, I'm happy they finally finished the construction. They've been those townhomes. Oh,
They just hit, and they're cleaning up all their mess, and they have this like little bulldozer that has this thing on the front that picks up trash and stuff like that.
so like
Is it an excavator? Hey, dirt, see you later.
I know that song.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, so I'm turning around the corner. It's a windy day, and the thing picks up the styrofoam stuff. I'm like going, why don't they just pick this up by hand? So it crushes it, picks it up. Guess what happens? All of it blows.
You don't crush styrofoam.
I know. So I go, what the fuck? And they go, sorry. I go, my yard looked like it had been snowed. It snowed. I go, you guys have been dumping trash on my fucking yard. If they okay, we'll come at least pick up the big pieces. No. And then my neighbor's like, what? I go, no, that wasn't me. That was them. They crushed the thing. And so I may allegedly have got some payback tonight when I may have needed some sod. And so I borrowed some.
Dude, people listen to this show, man.
I don't care.
You better watch yourself.
Throw me in jail. So I said,
at least you have an alibi. You're on a podcast.
Exactly. And who knows if I'm telling the truth. But I go,
it's entertainment purposes.
So much fucking trash. And then the gas guy, he's digging something up and he leaves the thing, this hole open where people walk through it. It's on my, I'm like, well, can I get sued for that if the hole's there at night and someone trips over it? So I covered it. Yeah. I covered it back up. And so he goes, I go, fuck it. I go, someone trips over that, we could get sued. And then they came out and freshly spray painted the lines. I'm like, fuck, finish this goddamn shit. Finish it. Stop digging. Because I said I told you a couple weeks ago, they dug up my yard, or what was it last week, buried a cable. Did such a shitty job putting it back. Now it's all uneven. I got to fix it. But I think I told you, Google Fiber's coming through. So they're just going to re-dig it back up again. I think that's why all the different paint lines are on the, I'm like, fucking A, just finish this goddamn work. And then I'm going to be one of those people. I'm going to have to see if I can get speed bumps put in because people are racing down here at like 50 miles an hour, which I told when they said, I go, look, someone's going to get killed because it's downhill. People are going to come. And there's as you turn on our street, up the street, there's a blind spot. And the streets, I don't know about your streets, they're narrow. Barely two cars can barely fit by. So someone's going to slam into each other and die. But that's all I got. I'm done ranting.
Could be entertaining.
At this time, we're going to take a commercial break.
What? No, you can't do that to the people.
That's why I love living in a cul-de-sac. It's the best.
Well, for the longest time, we lived at the end of the street. It was just us and the wooded area that was next to us. And they fucked all that up. At least they didn't make us take, because our fence is on their property by about 8 feet. And they didn't make us take it down. So, but now I got to build. They have this water runoff thing, and they put half a metal fence around it. The other half is open. Yeah, I'm yelling at cars. The other half is open. I'm like going, what the fuck is why only do half of it? I go, someone's going to drown in this water thing. It's just asinine how they designed this whole thing.
Oh, there's this place on my way to work. I've worked in the same
SeaWorld?
space. Yeah, the SeaWorld. When I go to the SeaWorld place, I pass
High
by
five.
where they put in new development, and when they didn't dig the retention pond deep enough. And they put the retention pond
so
right
all
next.
The dolphins are free.
No,
we're going out of business.
Shouldn't have even brought up my work. mean, this is one of those things. No, this isn't at my complex. This is at a different place on my way to it. But they put
They
in
call
this new
him Flipper.
development, and
It's
and then
Free
they
Willy
don't
3.
they don't even account for the fact that like once you build one of these complexes, you're gonna fill it with stuff, right?
Yeah.
So already the retention pond is already at its limit. You're putting more stuff in it, and then it's right by the road where the wind blows and creates like a freeze across that entire road now. So you have this
And the
problem
cradle
that
will
was
rock.
never
Yeah.
needed to be there. And when the ground is saturated because everything melted and we got this big rainstorm that came through here. So you can see like where it's puddling up even across the road, from this new development that they built. So I don't know. It's just one of those development things where you're like, really, you couldn't just dig more of a retention pond or like come through and flag these people to say, hey, you're creating,
Yeah, it's
So,
just like,
but-
hey, my theory is we're leaving. Fuck it, sue us. We have insurance. Sue us. I honestly believe that. I can't believe because there's an older woman down the street. She's always writing letters to, politicians. They don't fucking care.
Oh, sure.
And I've told her so much, but she's old, so she doesn't. It gives her something to do.
In my day, this is what we did.
She goes, but you have to have a fence around a pool. This is
Right.
bigger than a pool. I go,
Right.
You're getting up.
Yeah.
I have 2 grandkids. We go out front. Now I got to cone off a section, and I sit in a certain spot so I don't. So if they try to go up the hill, I said, no.
Jack,
Get your butt back down.
Are you sure you're not getting confused with your life with the current season of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Because
I haven't seen that yet. So.
Okay.
But it's another thing too is they didn't level it out, so it's sloped. So if you get one of those storms, you get those storms that get 2-3 inches of rain in like 20 minutes.
Yep, that's what I'm
Everything
talking
floods.
about.
I said, well, we've already been flooded out a couple times, but I was going on a walk with the kids and Cindy, and I went, look at that condo. It's right at the end at the 2nd Street, and it's even sloped even more. I go, that condo, when it rains heavily, is going to get flooded. It's literally right. It's just going to go right up the driveway into their garage and into their house. I go, if I was buying a house, buying one of these things, I wouldn't have bought that. There's no way I'd buy that one. Anyway, I'm done complaining.
You're never done.
No, but it just to me, it's just common sense. I don't know why they extended the road anyway. There was no, but now everybody's found it and they're just racing up and down the street.
And that's why we're done taking another commercial break. Nick, you were going to say something and then you froze up.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, like I live on top of a hill, and I remember like my first week or second week I lived here. You're not quite used to how fast you should be going on the hill, and there's definitely a few ladies that I got to look, like, he's going too fast down that hill. I'm out here walking my dog.
I'm lucky. My car will slow me down if I'm going too fast down here.
Oh.
Is that the Lexus that does that?
Yes.
Yeah. If I'm going, because a couple times I was like, what the fuck is going on? I go,
So when I've had too many Chardonnays, my automatic speed control, my Lexus can get me home safely.
I didn't realize Rascals had emergency brakes.
That's funny. I have taught my 2 youngest. Well, actually, I think the 3 youngest grandkids. I joke around. I'll get one of their toys, and I go, "I'm pooping it out." Now they do it.
Such a good influence.
One of my daughters goes, "Did you teach my son this?" I go, "It's a good possibility. I did."
I love the idea that your kids actually are probably at home having this conversation. Like, I know, sweetie, but it's free healthcare. It's free childcare. We have to use my dad, okay? And then like the husband's just like, I know, but like I gotta deal with this shit for my kids now, And
I should take them somewhere else. I don't care. Not breaking my heart. And now the youngest one's having another one. I was like, come on.
Oh yeah, that's.
I did
What,
tell
now,
her
what do
that
you what do you think your long-term plans are here? Like, are you gonna cut
I
it off
told-
and say I'm done at this day, this year?
I did tell him,
can't
I
do
said,
anything.
look, if I want to go somewhere, or if your mom and I want to go somewhere, you're gonna have to figure out something else.
Mhm.
I've done my time. But if I'm home, I don't mind doing it. But I was okay with just 4. But they got to have another one. Anyway, I mean, it's great. It's a long day. 6:30 to 4:30 every fucking day.
Yeah, that is a lot, especially the 6:30 part for sure. Because
you gave your hair for your own. I mean, what else do you have left to give, Jack?
Nothing.
You've done enough.
I've done my share. That should get that. I'm hoping that gives me enough to get in. It takes all those goddammits and then since 10 commandments I broke, maybe.
But you've passed them on to your grandchildren, so that it also kind of balances out. It's like is there a net gain, net loss there? It's like
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's like you're just gonna, even with all of this, you're just gonna squeak by into heaven. It's just like,
because even Cindy goes, "Why do you teach them that?" And then she's laughing when they're doing it. I go, "That's why you do it, because it's entertainment."
I love those kind of thoughts of like what if you're drunk when you die, and you get up to the pearly gates, and Peter's sitting there looking at you going like, "You drunk? I had a couple."
Are you jealous?
Yeah, let me in, fucker.
They have a sobriety tent.
Like, why is the elevator going down now? What the fuck, man?
Well, this place got a cover charge? That's bullshit.
Fucking millennials.
God has an ego.
Thanks, Obama.
That's Jack Fly.
Gas is almost $6 a gallon in California.
Fuck that. I've been going to the Walmart gas stations because they're always a bit cheaper.
It's gonna get even higher.
Oh, no doubt.
The whole shit happens in Russia.
Yeah.
And every Republican's gonna blame it on Biden. Fucking. Well, it's not Biden's fault. It's the fact that there's a goddamn world war.
This whole thing with Ukraine is just gonna explode this week. It seems like. I mean, it's
when I
just
worked
been
at the
slowly.
ring, we had a customer, Ukraine, and she used to talk about all the time about how there was always tension there. This was like 5 years ago. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Chris, not to
every time he has a great point to make,
I mean.
Sorry, your knickerneck cut you out there.
Well, then
Nick.
fuck it. Never mind.
That's why we had World War III, because they had bad internet. Oh, we signed this peace agreement. Send him an email. Send him an email.
To me, if it was me, I'd almost be like, you know what? I mean, I don't know what we could do, but it was like, you know what? We're cutting Russia completely off. Like, we're no longer trading with you. We're no longer recognize you as a fucking country anymore. It's like, just totally kill them. Just kill their economy completely. And the thing is that that's me.
But problem is, you kill their economy. They have. These,
what are we gonna do for porn, Nick?
Yeah,
what are we gonna do for
those Russian mail order brides? Damn it!
They kind of have us by the balls, right?
Was it you, Nick, that sent the thing to adopt a Ukrainian?
I did. Yeah, adopt a Ukrainian before it's too late. Yeah.
You're not wrong on that, because that's what the customer looked like. Anyway.
But and as much as I hate to say it, but Trump, made the point a few years ago where he was talking about that, how like Germany and Italy and a lot of these countries are dependent on Russia, and they're not going to vote to hurt themselves, but it's like, but you're totally going to allow a country to be invaded and taken over by another country. It's like, so it's like, what the fuck, And that's the thing is, if Biden, and Biden should have seen this coming, because it's been coming for a long time, is that, instead of killing our gas industry and our natural gas industry, we should have been like, hey, Germany, we're going to start giving you 30% or whatever of what you need, so you're not fully dependent on Russia, but I don't know. I'm not the leader of the free world.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah, it's completely fucked up.
Because you got to worry because they do have weapons of mass destruction. So it's like, do you want to piss them off too much?
Well, I mean, but the thing is, it sets a really dangerous precedent in that, because China is, I guarantee, paying attention to this. So if we allow them to invade Ukraine unopposed, what's to prevent China going, you know what, fuck it, we're going to take Taiwan. What are you going to do about it, fuckers?
Right.
Because it's going to, that's one of the things, even in my industry, we sell like the technology to Hong Kong. And I'm like, should we be selling to Hong Kong, dude? Like, they're going to be China within a few years and they're going to steal all our intellectual property. It's crazy. And Taiwan's the leading, that's the reason why cars were so hard for the last 2 years to buy is because Taiwan makes the majority of all the chips that go into automobiles and lots of other things.
That helps slow your car down.
Yeah. Or you rascal.
Help slow your car down. Well,
it's just really scary to watch it all unfold.
Yeah.
Because I think back, when was the last time there was a potential conflict of this size?
1938.
Right? Seriously.
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah.
No, I mean, but even a conflict half of this size, right? Like you're thinking about like even going back to like the Iraq War, which is actually a fraction compared to what this is, or even going back to even Vietnam, right? I wasn't around for Vietnam, but it's been well documented.
It wasn't popular.
It wasn't popular. Then you go back into the World War II and the Korean War and all that type of stuff. The crazy thing now is that we have such line of sight to it.
Korea wasn't a war as a police action.
It's true.
But we have such line of sight to it now. And this is not something we've had before, to sit here and watch and wait and have satellite imagery of troops moving into whatever regions and stuff. It's scary as fuck. Like at times you're sitting at the 5 hours ago look at what the war room table was. Like we never got that before. And
There's no fighting in the war room.
Right. It just feels so weird to be so connected to it, and it's almost like it's hard to turn away. It's hard to stop watching it, but it's also terrible to watch at the same time. Mm-hmm. But
also crazy to think about, like,
well, Russia wants the oil from there, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to. So I mean, we're, when we think about wars in the past and wars, we're still fighting wars over oil. What was the Iraq War about?
Well, it's always about cash.
Well, I mean, just the short-sightedness of, what was it? The 2012 election or whatever it was, when Romney was said that, Russia's our biggest threat, and he was like basically laughed off the stage. And
they're our buddies.
And
we lost Nick again.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Nickered out.
But I mean, that's one of our biggest. I know. But that's one of our biggest failures is that, like, how did these other Western European countries just completely forget? It's like, dude, like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you have to be prepared. And people, it's like people have always asked me about universal health care. Like, I was like, well, we're the whole defense of the entire fucking world. We spend over a third of our entire budget every year on defense. It's like the rest of the world doesn't have a military because we're their fucking military.
But also 2012, we were mired down and still occupying, we were still occupying Afghanistan. We were still embedded in Iraq. I mean, I don't know. It's like there's...
You need to choose your battles. That's what you're trying to say.
Well, this is a battle that's not going to go away, and it's just seems like it's going to escalate. So,
well, like you're saying, Nick, you said why do those countries? Because politicians only care about getting reelected, so they're going to do whatever. They're not thinking long term. They're just thinking, okay, how do I get elected?
Dude,
it's the same anywhere. How do I get elected?
The amount of I don't want to necessarily say pro-Putin, but like not anti-Putin sentiment amongst GOP right now is fucking terrifying.
I wasn't talking about our politicians; they're all crooked. But
I'm thinking about this. It's fucking scary about how half. Now, I don't want to say half. A significant portion of our Congress is not condemning Putin.
Follow the money and
what
you'll find
the
your
fuck?
answers.
That's
All
fucking
the
crazy.
things you wondered about with the politicians are going
Term
for the
limits.
money.
There's money's money, but
Sure.
that's fucking treason. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Technically not treason whatsoever, but like it's just terrible morality. And it's not treason against our country. It's treason against the morality of the fucking world. Like the fucking what the shit? Like we're
fucked. We're fucked in so many ways. It's not from one party; it's both parties. Because there's so many politicians that get paid millions by China, by Russia, by everybody, and and that's why it should be almost rewritten in the Constitution to where it's kind of like they're wanting now to where because politicians can trade stocks. It's like they have so much fucking insider trading. It's bullshit. It's like you should almost have every single asset of yours frozen if you go into public office. And that's it.
I'll say it, even as a Democrat, Pelosi's one of them, probably one of the worst.
You look at Pelosi when she went into office compared to now, where'd all that money come from? And it is both sides. I mean, you look at all those politicians. The only reason they go there
is to make money. Yeah,
money is power, and power is money.
But how are you going to stand in front of Congress and not condemn Vladimir Putin?
He's not Hitler, but it's the same moves as Hitler. It's like, hey, these people. It's the Sudetenland again. It's like, these people are traditionally Russian, so we need that land. And
right.
It's just it's nuts. And the fact that people are not making those connections. Of it's crazy. It's like, it's because that's exactly what Hitler did. It's like, these people are Russians, or these people are Germans, so we want this little section. And then what did he do? He took all of Czechoslovakia. It's like, and then what do you think Putin's going to do? I'm going to take all of Ukraine because that was traditionally Russia.
This was traditionally Russia.
And the worst part was when the people that weren't German or the master race, he just wiped them out.
Yeah.
So
Putin's basically trying to correct all of the mistakes of the Cold War.
Well, that's where I've said this. I'm not sure if I said it on the podcast.
Trying to erase all of the
that's
failings of what happened.
Because Putin came to power because of one thing, and it was because Clinton got a blowjob and wanted to distract, so he invaded Bosnia and made a former Soviet republic. That's what the Russians want. The Russians wanted to handle everything that was going on in Yugoslavia. And, Clinton bombed all of that area to distract. And then it made Russia look weak. And then Putin came to office and promised we're going to be a new, strong Russia. And it's funny just how
I'm taking off my shirt.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's funny how one little insignificant thing can change the world, and just in mindsets of people.
I wouldn't say that it all boils down to Monica Lewinsky giving a blowjob, though. I mean, that's very far-reaching to say all of this goes back to this one thing. Yeah, I mean, it's.
I did not have sex.
If he was going to take power, he would have taken power eventually. To say that it all leads back to this leads to that, and therefore we have this problem. It's like.
But I'm saying that you can always see where it connects the dots.
Sure, but the idea though that this is how or why Vladimir Putin rose to office is he's probably always set on achieving a higher ranking, so and working his way up that. To be in that position of power. So it was probably always something that he was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So
he was, but I'm saying it's like anything else. You look at Hitler's election or you look at Putin's election, it's because there's a void of power and people want that strength. And so you vote people in if there's a void.
Or if there's a voice that speaks
Plus
to
you can
a
use it to run against it too.
Group of people, so
and this time we're going to take
no, we don't need another commercial break. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I just like saying that.
And
I
can tell.
We don't have to keep talking about this. I'm sure listeners are like, why are they talking about fucking Ukraine? I hear this shit enough. But
well, it's important. I mean, it's
we
can talk about how major
you brought back some weird memories of the Kosovo situation, which is I was just doing a quick search about that. I remember like vividly when that was going on with
yeah.
Slobodan Milosevic.
Mhm.
You know, all those fucking crimes against humanity and whatever. That's wild. That I completely forgot about that happening. That's sad, but I haven't thought about that until you just mentioned it.
I know I talked about this before. I watched about a year ago. It's tyrants and dictators and how they get the power. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's on Netflix. It's like what's his name? Peter Dinklage. He's the narrator.
Okay.
And of it, and it basically shows how, like Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, how they got in power and how they stay in power is by killing people.
Yeah.
And because you put fear into your citizens. Okay, I can't speak out because not only will I be killed, but my kids will be killed, my wife and my whole family. So that's how they do it. I mean, I don't know how someone does that, but it's.
But yeah, you scapegoat. I mean, you look at Canada, look at all the COVID fear. I mean, you scapegoat any group of population, and people think they're virtuous, and the other people are scum. And it doesn't have to be that situation; it could be any situation. But that's what you do, is that you divide
like
people.
This podcast,
you look
week in and week out.
Yeah, three of us are sane, and the other guy doesn't like Mexicans, and so it's just
and you've radicalized the chat against me. In a way.
No.
Decisions.
You cannot scapegoat yourself on this one, dude. Like or skate sheep yourself. Jack's laugh almost sounded like a sheep too.
It did. It was very, very bad.
No, the chat takes into their own accord and treats you as they feel you need to be treated.
We don't own the chat.
But however, the ringleader of your anti-Matt group is actually out to dinner right now.
That's true. I had noticed it's been a little quiet lately.
And Miami Mike's not here, so I'm off the hook. So
right.
I did get this email from a student over the weekend, and like teaching can be a very
private email.
No. No, like
your home address or your school address?
It went to my school address.
Are you forwarding your school emails to your home computer? I'm not going to
continue this conversation.
Hey, Matt, I'd like some private lessons, like
no.
Maybe a new model.
Can I paint your jeans?
Matt, I would like a commercial break.
I would like a commercial break. I'm ready to just end the show now. I just won't share anything about my personal life.
Rebelcast came for sheep, stayed for politics.
No, I received a very nice email from a student who I had.
Let's hear it. Let's get the gist of it, at least.
I want to be known. I wasn't the one interrupting you on this.
I'm gonna say Matt probably got more emails than we did this week, so might as well hear his.
Let me see if I can find this, because this was Sunday and not my. Oh, I think I can go into my flagged, because
Hey Matt, your favorite student here. I would like for you in the future to draw me like one of your French girls.
No. I don't know why I can't find this, but I will. Oh, here it is.
Not you, Chris. Chris just wrote his fucking thing.
Oh, yeah. Me and Chris were on the same page there. Yeah.
No, this.
It's like, what the fuck did I do?
I just want to say that as a teacher, you don't get these emails that often, and so this is one of those things that I'm gonna kind of hold on in my heart for the next 5 years until I need another recharge of my teacher energy. But she writes in, "Hello, Professor. I hope you are doing well and the semester is treating you right. You had me in. I'm gonna just mute you, okay? Because this is." You had me in your drawing for non-art majors class in 2019, I think, and I just wanted to let you know what an impact it had on me. I never considered myself an artist before taking your class, but now I've been working as a tattoo artist for almost 2 years. I attribute this change in my life's trajectory pretty much entirely to your class, and I am so grateful for the semester I got to spend in your classroom. I never thought that the spontaneous decision to take an art class could ever have impacted me in the way that it has. I just wanted to make sure you knew how important your work is to me personally, and likely to many of your other non-art major students. Anyhow, thanks again, and keep being amazing.
That's great.
So,
That's nice.
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really, really sweet. So
So now you
Yeah,
have
too
to
bad
go
Juan
get one of
wasn't here
those
to hear it.
tattoos.
no,
No, like the ones that you're designing yourself. You should bring it to
Mm.
her and have her do it.
Full chest.
I would like I would of course like to see. So I know of a couple students I've had as students that have gone on to become tattoo artists, and one of them I follow. So not to besmirch the other student that has gone on to make.
Yeah,
a
Bean,
life.
write you a fucking letter. Screw them. Go to
Yeah.
this girl and get yourself a tattoo done from her.
Yeah.
It is amazing to me, like especially when we all get to our age, like sometimes you can pinpoint conversations or moments that really did change your life, and like you could have gone one way or the other, and like because like for me, it's 2006 or 5 where I was just sitting in on a graduate level class. I met a guy. He got me in my job as an archaeologist, and then he taught me basically the beginning of what I do now, and if I had sat next to someone else in that class, never would have met him, never would have talked to him. And it's just funny how like things like that can happen. That's true. I did, Matt. Thank you. And I was, but fuck you now. I'm not even going to do it. I was
No, I was listening. Yeah.
No, clearly you weren't.
They're from the same state, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah, but I was just saying, but it's interesting because you're just doing your job. I know you love your job, man. But like but it's one of the things like you do. You're teaching someone.
Yeah, you really don't think about like the day. You're just like going about your business, like teaching students left and right. Not, I mean, I teach this course sometimes twice in a semester. 2 times a year. So there's at least four classes a year, and I've taught this class since probably 2015. So that's
it's like like the first time some shears were put into Matt's hands, at the sheep farm. It changed his life, and he was never the same.
Anyway, thank you for letting me share that with you guys.
That was a nice.
That was nice.
It really really cheered me up, and like I said,
no doubt, yeah.
you don't get those that often, and so when you do, you're
usually you get complaints. So it's like when you get.
Yeah, man.
Well, because I do teach a lot of non-art majors, they are going into different professions. They're not following art, and really I think of my job is just kind of like trying to instill some art in their life. Hopefully they'll keep it, with them. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for letting me share that without you guys dicking all over me or making fun of me. But yeah, so good stuff. I don't think Randy wrote in this week, actually.
Thank God.
Or did he? And he fell asleep, and I completely forgot about his email. No, we didn't get. Randy, thanks for not writing in your wonderful jokes.
No, we got more emails of like new login on Mac, unknown Mac.
Oh, that would have been me probably.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I noticed a few that were just random. Like
I was at work today, and I had to log into my work computer to post the show because I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little behind the curtain there, but yeah, posting the show or remembering to post the show. And then of course we had this like last minute, like, is Chris going to go to the Van Gogh exhibit? We don't know.
We were all hoping.
We were. No,
the fuck you weren't.
We were all like, come on Wednesday.
The thing is that we were hoping that Chris would finally experience some culture, because like all he does is go to like sporting events and punch people. And so we're like, hey, like if he could get a little bit of art, maybe mellow out a little bit.
That's why he
you
goes
know.
to see My Morning Jacket. It's the only thing that like
Mellows me down.
calms the
Yeah.
rage,
It doesn't
you
mellow it. No,
know,
he gets all pumped. He gets all hopped up on drugs.
We didn't
mostly,
talk
you know,
about the fact that I did send you guys a video last week when I met up with some of my old buddies I haven't seen in a while, two of which happened to be at that infamous night in question at Gillette Stadium. And I interviewed him in that video for you. It was an admission that it was not me that started any fight. It was him.
If you look in his eyes, though, when he's telling it, it's like
It's like he's reading a script.
He was being coerced, into saying this, and I didn't believe him. I really didn't. You know,
that's fair, but I gave it my best.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna make a video. If you do what I tell you, we're gonna go to Dunkin', and then we're gonna go get some beers.
See, here's the deal: the guy on the right who confirmed said story is a man of the cloth. He's a pastor, so he would not be a liar.
I'm going to share with everybody that's joining us live in the show an image of what was shared. So,
yes.
Oh, that's a different image. That's a different image. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That came through across the chat earlier today and said Chris's favorite. To which I said, "Hell yeah."
Das Butt.
It's a Simpsons
reference.
Yeah.
But that's
two people saw that. Everybody else just heard it.
Yeah, no. Somebody actually put that on the chat recently, like somewhere on Facebook, like we're asking about Das Boot season 2, which came out like 2 years ago or a year ago, and it still has not been released in the U.S. Which I think Jack and I are the only two that have actually watched the series.
Yeah, I did not watch it.
Which was really good.
What series?
Das Boot, the series.
I haven't watched the series.
Or maybe it was Matt then. But they basically took the original book of Das Boot, the movie's based on, and they combined it with a French resistance novel as well. So they kind of have like two storylines, and season 1 is superb.
Okay.
But season 2 came out over a year ago, and it still has not been released in the U.S. And you're like, why not? Because Hulu owns the rights, I think, to it in the U.S., but season 2 is not. It's good. And yes, Will Fry says you're welcome, who sent me that photograph of Das Butt that I passed along.
Oh, thanks, man. Well done.
Yeah.
But anywho, where were we?
I don't know. Where'd Matt go?
Matt's email. We didn't get any emails for Reels this week. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm still bitter that I was trying to like prop up Matt with his email, and he just shit on me. So I'm like, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
It was kind of cold.
Yeah.
I remember I had one of those pivotal moments, not where I impacted somebody else, just like I remember a specific conversation that I had that kind of led down a road, right? So this is going back to the first Raleigh meetup that I went to at the Iceplex. And I remember I was going back and forth like over what were we using for communication? We weren't texting then. Or were we texting, or is it like bulletin boards? Maybe still. I don't even know.
Texting was around back then.
But I think we were. I can't remember where it came from. Maybe it was on. Yeah, I don't know. Facebook Messenger, perhaps.
Maybe we had a Jay and Jack message board.
Might be the message board too. I can't remember, but I remember the point which I was like, I had already come to an agreement with Kulk and Rob that they were going to go down to the meetup because I had been talking with them too, off and on. And I remember I reached out to Robin, and that's when things just started really kind of falling into place because I reached out to Robin. I'm like, Robin, let's do this. Let's move. Let's go down there. And it turned into Robin and what's her name from Maine, Sue from Maine, and then Illyrio got put into the picture as well. And it was just that it was that reaching out to Chris and then to Robin that was kind of like the pivotal move for all these people that I became really good friends with, including yourselves on this call. What the fuck am I at work on this podcast? And that led to going to Raleigh, going to Comic-Cons, going and being on the Media Junkyard, and then ultimately doing Ramblecast and being sitting right in this chair right now. All stemmed from that one conversation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know I've told this story before. It's the same thing. It's like when we've talked about like how we got introduced to the J&J network, because I was I was just doing.
Matt, we're paying homage to your email. This is the kind of the trend of your email.
Oh,
Talking
no,
about
no,
those
no,
influential points.
don't talk to Matt. Yeah.
That might be the funniest thing I've ever said.
There's your title. Don't talk to Matt.
No.
Shut up. No.
Don't talk to Matt.
You don't talk.
Sorry,
to him.
Dad.
Don't look at him. He's fine.
But yeah, we've talked about that though, like because I was doing just like very boring lab work in 2005, I think. And I was, podcasts were fairly new at the time, and I was like watching Lost, like a lot of people were, and I was like, oh, let's look up, interesting podcasts about Lost if there are any, and of course you had Ryan and Jen, you had Dharma Lars and Jay and Jack, and the one that I liked the most was Jay and Jack, and I stuck with it, and then the message boards got more popular, and it's been saying like, who would have thought that just by listening to a podcast that you would have made friends from that, and had a whole community about that. And like all these years later, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Not to mention being in like 2000, whenever the fuck it was, 6, 7, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And trying to convince your wife that it's a perfectly good idea to drive to fucking Boston, pick up some random chick you've never met before.
Right.
With another dude from Long Island. This is Rob. And then drive across the state again over to Vermont to go pick up another dude while meeting up with another guy from Canada.
Right.
And then continuing down to fucking North Carolina together. That's not only that's kind of still unheard of now. But right. But it's also wildly unheard of to have that scenario unfold 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
For sure. Yeah.
When people were not adjusted to the idea of meeting people in real life you met on the internet. Like that's not a normal thing.
No.
But it was a wild set of circumstances because I literally I picked up Rob, I think in Rhode Island. I drove every fucking where that weekend. I drove to Rob to Boston. Rob was in Rhode Island, picked up the ferry boat. To Boston.
Wasn't Rob on this show? Like has he visited the Ramblecast or Married Man?
Yeah, we had the
we had a little mini reunion of Media Junker.
That's right. Okay.
A long time ago. Well,
and then
a couple years ago.
Picked up some dude in Vermont where a guy from fucking Canada drove down and we all jumped into a rental car and drove to Rob. It's just wild. But here we are. Yeah,
Lyria posted a photo of himself recently, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was like, Lyria's turning gray now. I'm like, oh, fuck, Lyria's getting old.
Yeah, he is. He's got a new lady, too.
Oh, really? Him and, wasn't his wife, right? They weren't married, right?
What'd you say?
Correct.
Christine, right?
I missed that. Like, so you say, they're not a couple anymore.
Chris isn't saying anything.
I'm reserving the maybe I'm not supposed to share that.
Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll just cut that whole now for a commercial break.
Serious, Clark? All right.
You serious? You serious about this? Should we do it? I don't care. I mean, we've had so many commercial breaks. Who knows? We could just say randomly throw it in there. Please don't put it at any time that we said commercial break.
Yeah.
Like it's just some random time.
People are being like, what the fuck?
Why can't they get their shit together?
Can you imagine? Like, Colleen, like, we didn't write the times down, but Jack says it a few times, like, when to take commercial breaks. It's like,
just put it at the hour and the hour and a half mark. We're good.
Yeah.
I know Nick said he didn't watch any of the Olympics. Did you guys watch any of the Olympics? I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't watch any of it, no.
I didn't, but it was weird because my son's been watching it, I guess, at school. Like one of his teachers actually like puts on the Olympics for it's kind of like their homeroom class or whatever.
Yeah.
They call it something different, but we all know it's homeroom.
I guess NBC took a bath on it.
Oh yeah, I've seen those headlines. Yeah, where It was probably their worst Olympic viewership ever.
I don't think people care about any of them. They're just not the same anymore.
Well, I mean, the Winter Olympics, for one, usually have lower anyway than the Summer Olympics.
Right, but still, I usually watch some of it. Like I'll watch some of the hockey, like Chris Dorn says.
I was really surprised by my kids though. They were like, "We like the Olympics," and my son was like specifically like, he thinks the Winter Olympics are better than just the Summer Olympics.
I kind of agree with that. Because I love the biathlon, the guns and the skiing, and I like, of course, bobsledding because everyone that watched Cool Runnings loves fucking bobsledding. Figure skating from time to time I do like, and of course hockey.
Well,
and of course the greatest sport of all, which is curling.
Oh yeah, I know
because anyone can do it.
I've tried it. It is not anywhere near as easy as it looks.
But you don't have to be an athlete to do it.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
Can we talk about the other bobsledding that happened over the weekend through Nick's yard?
Oh yeah,
the cat that rubbed his balls all over your trunk.
I'm pretty sure that was a female who sprayed her territory.
I thought there were balls in that picture, man.
You were looking at it more closely than I was. Yeah, it was really cool because
he's got a keen eye for animal balls.
That's true. He looks like looking at those rear ends of those animals.
Practice makes perfect.
All right. No, I'm gonna pull this video up and share it with the listeners, Weisenheimer, and we'll see what they have.
Watching YouTube, you get to see a bonus video.
What? No, we're not taking another commercial break. All right. Let's see if I can show
video.
This episode sponsored by Cougar Balls. Go to cougarballs.com.
All right. I don't know.
I should have videoed it the other way.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how you did that way.
Fucking vertical video, you noob.
Here, let's see if I can zoom in on it. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna push.
All right, so for those listening at home, i.e., everybody, there's a video that shows right now of a bobcat walking through Nick's backyard, and I don't see any balls.
I see no balls.
I see no balls.
Chick is hot.
Oh, she's pissing all over that.
Maybe you're right. Oh wait, I swear there were balls back there. See, look at that. What does that look like?
That's the butthole.
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks like double balls.
That's where the poopy comes out.
Look, maybe you're right. I mean, I guess.
Or a gold mine in the cliffs of Indiana. You know what I mean?
So how many wild animals?
I guess Nick does have a keener eye at spotting Bob pussy.
Yeah,
I mean Bobcat cat.
As soon as I get some easily disposable money, I'm going to buy a couple of wild game cameras, because I see so much and there's no telling what I'm missing. But
there's some strange out there that you are missing.
And I know there's something.
Well, that cat
across the side of my eye.
Now, if you were walking
and I saw that bobcat, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
That cat could do some damage to you, right?
Well, bobcats eat rodents and rabbits, so it's kind of like a black bear. Like if you scare a bobcat, it's not going to hurt you unless you pin it somewhere where it feels it needs to defend itself. It's not a mountain lion that will fucking kill you.
Do you have mountain lions around there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have never seen one. They're rare. Of course, my neighbors have said like, oh yeah, it's always like, oh yeah, like years ago there was a mountain lion up here, but they didn't see it, so it's like, well, was there really?
Well, what do you carry when you go outside? Do you have like a gun or anything like that, or just?
I mean, I Tennessee, of course, I have guns, but I don't carry it.
Well, I'm just saying that.
No. I mean, no.
Do you have bears around there? I mean,
yeah, like a bear shit in my driveway, like when I first moved here.
There's a bear shit in the woods.
No, it shits on my driveway. No, like I thought.
But they scooped up your snow, but they won't scoop up the shit.
No, I thought I told you guys that. Like my first month when I lived here, the trash gets picked up Monday mornings, like early Monday morning, and so I was taking the trash out Sunday night to the curb. And then one day I woke up on the Monday and I looked down the driveway and I was like, what the hell is that on the driveway? And I went down there and it was a big pile of bear shit, and then I walked down to the end of my driveway, and it turned over my trash can and rummaged through it and everything. I was like, so from now on, I get up at the butt crack of dawn on Monday and take the trash down. But
now, what kind of bear was it?
Black bear.
So black bears you don't have to worry about because
Texas tea.
Black bears, black bears they're not violent like a brown bear or a grizzly. Like they're more.
You still don't want to fuck with them.
No, you don't fuck with them.
For those listening at home, this is not disclaimer. If you see a brown or black or a grizzly bear, get the fuck out of its way.
Yeah.
This is not an endorsement that black bears are gentle animals.
Does the spray work, or because they have the bear spray, right?
You have bear spray and you have horns as well. The horns usually will do the job.
Horns, beep, beep. Like an air horn?
Like air horn,
it's just like a little
beep, beep. Yeah. But the bear spray is if it's like within a few feet of you where you need to like mace,
Okay. Does that just piss them off? Because it would piss me off.
Like I said, like black bear they're not as aggressive. Like basically, unless it's a female with cubs, that's the only way it's really going to come at you. Black bears, will run up a tree. They'll run away as soon as they hear anything. I've been on hiking trails where they're just sitting on the side of the road. Like they're just kind of like just chilling the fuck out. You think that they're over there like smoking dope or something.
That's racist, dude.
Well, you'd know, wouldn't you, Matt?
I'm not the one that's saying these things about black bears, okay? Gotta be calling it as I hear it.
High five, Matt.
Thank you.
But I've seen several black bears. Most of the time they're pretty chill.
So you're walking on the trail.
Yeah.
You look over and you see a bear.
Yeah.
And it doesn't freak you out.
No.
I gotta be honest. I would probably piss my pants.
No.
I mean, I've seen him at the zoo, but
that's one way to get the prostate working. Another way is to close out this show
and take a commercial break.
We're just getting interesting now. We're talking about bears. I know you want to talk about sheep, but I'm just saying.
Ending the show makes you take a shit.
Talk about sheep, and I mean,
do bears like beets?
They do, and Battlestar Galactica.
And Battlestar Galactica.
That's a myth.
But,
myth.
But like I've seen, like I get mule deer all the time.
Mule deer.
And then that's the first bobcat I've seen, and then of course snakes and things. And
how do you expect these security cameras to work if you can't get your internet to work?
They're not. They work two different systems.
Okay, all right.
I
gotta bust some balls.
What kind of snakes do you have? Because I'm watching 1883. And every fucking episode, there's a rattlesnake.
Right. Yeah.
Causing damage.
The rattlesnakes have balls. The other ones don't.
The majority of the snakes around here are bull snakes, which are kind of like a chicken snake in the south. Just like a non-venomous but large snake. We do. Snake. Do you know what a chicken snake is? Look it up, Jack. Yeah, you've lived in North Carolina for.
You can milk a cow snake.
20 years.
Little tiny udders off the cow snake.
Yeah.
Could you milk me?
Nipples. You can milk you have nipples. But yeah, we do have rattlers. They're asleep this time of year. But I have not seen one. But supposedly, just down the road, there are some more rattlesnakes.
If this conversation comes up when I'm in Colorado, just stop it from happening.
About snakes in general, yeah.
My wife would get on a plane and miss the concert.
We have copperheads here. We have the black rat snakes.
So Matt, Chris, how many days you think you're going to come just for the show and then go back?
So we're flying in on Friday, heading out on Monday.
Okay. And it's a Saturday, Sunday show or Friday, Saturday?
I forgot. It's a Saturday. No, it's a Friday, Saturday. We're going to the Saturday night show.
You know how he is about dates. It's going to be 1 week before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's actually gonna be a week before. No, I planned this one out. My wife didn't.
Well, you could make the other two hosts, jealous if you want to drive up the hour to see the house. And
I'd be so jealous.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's just hard. It's hard coordinating with 8 people.
Oh no! Oh, I see. I thought it was just you and the wife, but I know you have other people you're gonna hang out with. But
yeah. We're flying out with Dave, my buddy Dave, and then meeting up with another couple who flying in from San Diego, and then there's a couple who lives in whatever town I told you north of Denver. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, yeah, it's the suburb. Yeah. West, whatever it's called now.
I almost screenshotted this and shared this with you guys earlier today, but my brother texted me.
I thought you were trying to end the show, Matt.
I was, but now I'm just going to give this little anecdote of a story. My brother texted me today. He says, "Every rose has its thorn. That song always gets stuck in my head." And I wrote back, "Never heard of it. Do you mean like how every cowboy sings a sad, sad song?"
Nice.
He proceeded to text me the song as though I still didn't know. So I wrote back, "Was it something I said or something I did? Did the words not come out right?"
Nice.
I still
how did he not put two and two together?
I don't know. I'm just like, yeah. You can't have that song more stuck in your head than me, because I lived that song, man. Every day. Every damn day.
You've seen that every day.
Every day.
You've seen the Chappelle show a little bit where they did that, didn't you? It's John Mayer and Dave Chappelle it's like season 2 of Chappelle show, and
I'm sure I have, because
they're just on the street playing guitar, and
Mm-hmm.
like this cop gets out. It's a black cop, and he gets out of the car, like it's a white cop and a black cop, and they're like, all right, you got to keep the noise down, blah blah blah, and then Dave Chappelle's like, John, play something white, and then so he starts playing Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And of course, then the white cop's like, "Oh man, we cool, and then the black cop's like starts singing the song, and then Dave Chappelle's like, "Man, how you know that song?" He's like, "I get from the suburbs." You have to watch it, but it's fun.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, John Mayer is in with that whole comedy crowd. Like he was super close with Bob Saget in that whole group.
Have you paid attention to the autopsy on that?
Yeah.
One?
Yeah.
Cracked skull.
Cracked skull. But they said it was go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
It's like in 2 spots.
Well, they said it's
what are we talking about now?
Bob Saget's death.
Oh,
like they're just saying that he probably hit his head, went to sleep thinking nothing of it, and died. But they're saying that the impact to the back of the skull is the equivalent of a baseball bat strike to the head. So it's like you're not falling for a baseball bat type hit and then going to bed. It's like, no,
something's not adding up.
Yeah. Something's fishy.
That's not normal.
How could he get hit like that and make it to the bed?
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand, because
unless you slipped and you fell like straight back on your head, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way that you could get enough force like that going.
But how do you get back up and go to bed with something like that?
Unless he like hit it on the bedstand or something, but it's it's weird.
But they said it was in the bathroom. I thought, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought. I could be wrong, because I thought he had 2 fractures. I thought he had one in the back and one in the
parietal.
That is
because I know his family's trying to keep the autopsy private and all that stuff, and because they don't have to relive it. It just to me something.
Well, why have it out in the open and public and just people private?
Yeah, I agree, but it's just like
you kind of. I mean,
I respect their privacy, but it's just like, to me, it's not adding up.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so the point I was making is that John Mayer he was close with Bob Saget and with Dave Chappelle. He actually went out to Dave Chappelle's ranch and did like a lot of his comedy shows he did during COVID. So he's in that whole kind of like group of folks, and I'm actually seeing him in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Boston. Pretty psyched about that. Except half of his band caught COVID.
Damn,
which sucks. But hopefully by the time they get here, they'll be.
I thought we were done with COVID.
So Questlove had to come in and like randomly play drums for them for a couple of shows in New York, and it was like an incredible.
That'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of being done with COVID, my college is going mask optional by March 4th. It's an interesting dichotomy of professors who are basically like, what am I gonna do? To yes, I can be free. So it's a very very interesting dichotomy of emotions because
Yeah,
and it kind of falls along, I think, certain age lines. Like I
I
think
think
some
people
of
are.
see
I
that,
think people are
yeah.
just done with.
So-
They're just done with the mask.
so some of the younger professors, and I guess I'm on that threshold because I was like, great, like I don't have to wear a mask and try to fight over like speaking and so yeah. And
Well,
I
it's-
guess if numbers go on the rise and like the school decides like this is an issue, and
I don't
this
think
is
they can go.
something-
I think once these masks are done, I don't think people are going to go back to them.
Well, that's what I thought too.
I
'Cause,
guess
like,
unless like it's deadly enough that it would
Yeah.
cause such a.
I'll
Well, there's a
never.
there's a new variant in South Africa.
Yeah.
They say it's pretty bad, but
Yeah.
who knows?
I will never ever understand or be convinced that everybody who bitches about masks, like, it was the easiest fucking thing that
Sure.
you were asked to do, and if in certain places required to do,
Hides my double chin.
the easiest fucking thing to do.
well,
And the fact that people had to make a fucking agenda against it because they felt like it was a political thing.
well,
It's
it was a
fucking
political
stupid.
thing.
Oh yeah, no.
At the end
that
of the
whole
day, it
thing is-
wasn't though. I mean, at the end of the day, if everyone had fucking followed it,
No,
yeah,
no.
yes.
We're
Yeah,
Americans.
There was
We don't
no
like you told what to
look,
do.
look. There was no evidence ever presented to the public that masks work or that 6 feet worked or anything else. They were pulling it out of their ass. And Fauci, from the beginning, said masks don't work, and that's the only time he was probably ever honest. And then he went back because it was like, oh, the scare was so great. They're like, oh yeah, you knew to wear masks, but yeah, there was still no evidence that it worked. And finally,
there
when we
is
found-
evidence that masks work though.
no, yeah, the N95s, which they should have said like, oh, we're going to give those all to the people, but they didn't. So there's people wearing cloth masks that basically did nothing this entire time. It's because you can still cough and feel it coming out of everything. It's just, like it was all a crock of shit.
I still think
You need
that
that
masks
mask like
worked,
that one
and
girl had
masks
in,
helped prevent the spread.
Station
I
11.
mean,
It-
I know that at the college level and being next to a lot of group of students that have a wide path of variables. Even my wife like teaching, and she taught with a cloth mask for several semesters.
And for me, the
So-
amount of people that I was deemed a close contact of,
Mhm.
oh,
Like,
that
I mean, there was
I
no
always wore a
transmissible,
mask.
like
and I'm not saying I was anti-mask. I never was.
not taking the fact that you were, and you're
Yeah.
you're taking things off the page, and I completely understand that.
And it's just
But
like,
for me, like the fact that I'm around thousands of people a week, right?
Mhm.
With a core group of about 100. And of that core group of 100, how many of those 100 people were positive? And I was around all of them.
Mhm.
And I had a mask on. I kept my 6 feet distance when I could. And knock on wood, I got my son's stomach bug. I didn't get COVID. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
haven't even my daughter had it. Right?
Right.
And what do? We wore masks around her and we kept ourselves distant. And
Mhm.
none of us got it. Knock on wood. My son, my wife, me. I live
was
with my
around-
daughter.
I was around probably about 8 people that had it, and I didn't get it.
You know,
Right.
so
I didn't have a mask around them. I have super.
I mean, but you could have. I mean, you could have been asymptomatic. I mean, the thing is that you don't know.
Well, I took tests.
Yeah.
I've literally been testing at minimum once, if not twice a week for the last 8 months.
I got my
I
government
have to.
tests.
But like because you guys know me, like what I agreed with when it came to the right wing was just that I didn't agree with mandates. Like if you individually want to wear a mask because you think it's in the best interest of your own health, go for it. And if I walk into a business and they say like, hey, we want you to wear a mask, it's their business and they have the right to request that of me, and that's fine. But for someone to say like you need to wear a mask within your own home or you need to wear a mask as you're walking out in public, it's like, go fuck yourself. and that's just how I feel about it. You don't have the right to tell me what to do. It's the same as like businesses saying like, oh, you need to submit your vaccination card to us as a corporate.
I think
like,
when it
to
comes
me,
to
it's
like a health
you don't have
risk,
the right to understand what my health records are.
I think when it comes to a health risk, there's this overlap that I see between some of this with the smoking, you know, and being able to restrict people from smoking and exposing other people to secondhand smoke. And when secondhand smoke, we identified smoking as a hazard to other people's health, and we were able to kind of say like, look, we're not going to have smoking in restaurants and bars because it puts these people at risk and it causes a health issue. And a lot of people were like, you're imposing this on me. You're imposing this, you're impeding upon my freedom to be able to smoke openly out in public. But at some point, the actual like health of others becomes more important than your rights to be able to just kind of openly smoke and pass. You know,
I did say that someone on Facebook one time I said, that's the same argument the smokers use that I should be allowed to smoke wherever I want.
Well, I mean, but the thing is that
if you're a smoker,
if there's a health risk involved, I mean, I think it's one of those things. I mean, this wouldn't have, I think of other times in our country where we've band to get together and we've just been like, all right, this is what we got to do to get through this thing, but no, we have to be divisive. We have to kind of make this go out longer and hurt more people by I think blindly going against something that we know, like, okay, we just got to take our medicine and get through this to the other side. No one's saying that like masks are forever. This is taking away our right to, be free citizens for in perpetuity. It's to get over a cold, just like anything. We're trying to take medicine to make ourselves better as a nation. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying about the fact that there's rights that are being affected by this, but I see it as like a short-term, short-term medicine to get to this other side where we can be healthy again, or to a point where this Omicron, or whatever the next variant is so weak or immune that it doesn't affect us anymore. So, and who knows? I mean, we're either basically halfway through this thing or we're over the hurdle, and if we're halfway through this and we get to the point where we're like, oh shit, we're really fucked now because there's this other variant going on, World War III is breaking out, and oh, by the way, the
mask ain't gonna help.
Well, I mean, what are we gonna do then?
Well, there's duck and cover. I'm just saying if there's a nuclear war.
No, I understand that, but I'm just, as far as getting past to a point where we can just be healthy and because I do know that there are those people that are living in fear of COVID that I don't feel like they should be.
Yeah.
And I think that is a reality, that there are those people that are living in that fear and they shouldn't be permanently living in this state of like, okay, I've come to accept like, okay, if I get COVID, I'm going to get over it and I will, hopefully survive and it won't cause long lasting effects to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Matt. And at the same token, right? We are a fortunate group of people that can say that we are not of that group. Well, maybe actually Nick kind of is part of that group that is susceptible to. No, I'm not making a joke.
Well, no,
it's susceptible to a compromised immune system, right? So I don't have that. Jack, no, you don't. Nick kind of does, but there are people that. What I mean by that is there are people who are way worse off than Nick.
Yeah,
right.
True.
Yeah. And that's the point I was trying to make there. But there is a significant amount of people like that no matter what level of vaccination they get, can help them. Right. And that's the sad thing. Like there's actually a story came out with that Fox News host. What's his name?
Beckel?
Cavuto.
Oh, Cavuto.
Oh yeah, Neil Cavuto. Yeah.
Neil Cavuto. He has MS.
Oh,
and it's not really widely known until now because he kind of stood up and talked about it, that he had gotten COVID a second time, fully vaccinated and boosted, and it almost killed him. That's why
Ooh.
he's been off the air for 4 weeks, because he's been recovering. Like, it's folks like that, right? It's the people who don't have any line of defense, right? This is like don't smoke around me with like fucking a nuclear cigarette, right? For some people, you know what I mean? Like it's more than just secondhand smoke to lots and lots of people. And fortunately, we're not one of them, right? But like, there's a significant amount of people out there that are. That scares the piss out of me.
Sure.
And it also scares me. It scares me. You think of 75% of Russia's troops right now are currently living in swamp trenches. No, I'm not joking. They're currently stationed in swamp trenches right now on the borders of Ukraine. Totally spreading COVID. Those soldiers are going to be sick. It's going to be terrible. Like,
it reminds me of a song, Nick, and I think it would be the perfect song to take us out, which is "Springtime for Hitler."
Jeez.
Sorry, it's just kind of right on the nose because it's springtime, right? It's coming.
Yeah.
Not yet. But, yeah.
It's coming. It's warming up.
Our weather's all
Not
over.
here. It was -1 this morning.
Oh, okay.
It was
we had this
snowing
warm
2 days
snap.
ago. It's going to be 65 tomorrow.
Yeah, you're getting the warm snap that we just got.
But you kind of you bring an interesting point, like, because there's two ways of thinking about things, Chris. Like, you know, like do you live in fear, or, you know, it's like, because like, you know, the smoking thing, because like the way that, you know, libertarians think is, you know, freedom is non-negotiable and it should never be surrendered, no matter what, not 1 inch. And it's one of those things where it's like, me, if I'm autoimmune compromised, which I am, it's like I'm assuming the risk because I know my own individual risk of where I should go, where I should not go. And it shouldn't affect your life or Matt's life or Jack's life. Like, if I feel I'm uncomfortable there, then I don't go. Or or if I want to wear a mask, I want to wear a mask. And you shouldn't have to, all three of you should not have to change the way you live your life to afford my unfortunate circumstance.
That's a really great way of thinking of it. That is not how I see most libertarians act, specifically in my neck of the woods.
Well, then they're not libertarians then.
No, it's more of kind of like, why are you doing that when this is the way to be, and kind of inflicting their general perception of
like, don't tread on my freedoms. Fuck you. We're taking it all type of mentality.
Right. No, that's not. Then they're idiots. Like,
fair.
Should, like,
fair. There are definitely idiots on both sides.
No,
there's
it's like
tons of idiots on both sides.
The way true libertarianism is that, you know, you live your life the way you want to live your life, and I live the way my life I want to live it. And as long as, you know, we all have this, like, this general idea of like, hey, like, and like, as long as it doesn't like really hurt anything, like, you know, like, you can't, you know, go and shoot up 20 people, you know, but like,
so I guess the conflict that you have there, right, Nick, is that I hear the mentality. I hear you live your life, I live my life. You know, you fish on your side, we fish on our side.
The problem is we have to
like,
unfortunately we have to live together.
Right, but here's the thing: is that, you know, just because you have an autoimmune disorder doesn't mean you're automatically libertarian.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
I know, but there are plenty of people who are out there who have different political standpoints. I wasn't necessarily trying to make it a political thing, right? I mean, yeah. But you have people who have an autoimmune disorder. It doesn't matter whether or not we think libertarian, Democrat, or liberal, or conservative. They're fucked. If we don't do something to try and slow it down or even stop it. And when when both sides of whatever aisle, center, left, right, can't come together and figure out how to do that for the whole, then the people who are fucked die.
Well, wait, what could government have done? Nothing government did in the Trump or Biden years has worked. Nothing worked. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you had
no. There are varying state governments throughout this entire country that really fucked things up for their states. Really fucking bad.
You like
it wasn't a federal thing; it was a local thing. And if it could have been a federal thing, it may have been handled differently. But like, there are so many individual states out there that severely fucked their fucking constituents.
I
I
mean,
would say even on a local level where
City-wise, yeah,
definitely-
absolutely.
There's definitely been well, we're just gonna stick our head in the sand about this, and if we don't do anything about it, it'll just go away.
You're worried about getting reelected.
Fucking hate.
Well, I mean, I would say, at least from what I see at our local small town politics, it's more of kind of like, that's a liberal thing and we're not going to mess with it. So if we mess with it, we're taking a Democrat stand. So why would we do that? So it's kind of more of a hands off. We're not even going to, don't bother me with what you're saying that's happening with this. We're just going to keep doing the way things need to be done, which is to not deal with this. So
that's every political party.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
we can make the other one look bad, then that's
no. I'm just saying, like, it's a very like small town, head in the sand kind of way, and it doesn't matter if it's left or right on this point. I'm sure there's a small town in every state that you could point to and being like, okay, these people are clearly just trying to avoid this, and not actually kind of just take on the responsibility of saying, like, well, this is what we got to do. Like, nobody wants to be the parent in the room that says, all right, guys, we got to take our medicine. This is what we got to do. Come on, let's just get it done and move along. Instead, it's got to be.
I don't mind being that parent.
Well, I just think that there's a lot of that, like from small to big government, where it's just like, we're just not going to step up and actually just be the parent in the room that says, okay, let's just do this and move on. Like, let's instead, we got to fight and bicker about like some ridiculous thing like a mask mandate, as opposed to like getting to other things that might matter more important than fighting something that is going to be irrelevant in 2 years if we can end this thing, right? Like, if you can end COVID by just taking the medicine of doing what is needed, I'm just saying hypothetically, like, then what does it matter? What is it? What is a mandate that says, okay? I mean, it'd be like if there was well, we had a vaccine, but at some point in time they went through tenements, in New York, and forced families to take vaccines so they could eradicate polio. Anyway, we've gone down a whole other rabbit hole, and we're way past our usual time.
Yeah. Remember polio? I don't.
No,
I do. I've seen it in the movies.
No, I remember my mom's polio vaccine.
I knew people that had it.
Mm.
That's how old I am.
I thought I
With
had
chicken
it
pox?
for some reason.
People
Because
still
I
miss that, surprisingly.
I had chicken pox.
I had chicken pox, yeah.
I gotta get that shingle shot. Shingle shot.
Yeah, like someone I knew here recently, like their whole like they had a children's birthday party, and like the whole group of kids got chicken pox, and I was like, how the hell did that happen?
They didn't fucking get vaccinated.
Kids weren't vaccinated.
Apparently
My kids got
it's
the chicken pox vaccine when they were little.
I wish we had the vaccine when I was a kid. It sucked.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucked.
it sucked for me too. I
Yeah,
went
we
to
all-
one of
we
those
all
parties
had
in which
it.
they purposely gave us.
I was like
fucking
16
chicken
or
pox.
17 too when I got it. I was like, oh my god,
I remember having a pox party at like 9 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I had shingles more recently.
Oh, you
in
got
my
shingles?
memory,
Wow.
but yeah, I did. I had an outbreak of shingles, and that
That sucks. Yeah.
It is.
It
I've
was
only known
you
like two
said
people
that-
that have gotten it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since you said that, I said I gotta get my
It
shot.
actually is from the chicken's pox virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it's weird too because it affects only half of your body. So
Oh.
the nervous system is affected by it. So you basically, it's either your left side or your right side is being affected.
Oh,
So-
I hope it's my left side. Oh, it's my left side.
Well, because like your skin,
Does it
your
depend on
skin
your
is just-
political views?
It's yeah. It depends on your political and your brain waves. Yeah. So
Yeah.
mine, it was my entire left side was affected by it. So,
How long?
but
did it
not
last?
my arm so much, just my body part, like my
Torso.
torso. Yeah. So around my nipples.
My body part.
My
That's
body.
adorable.
Yeah. Just
It was
okay.
my penis.
It's late. We've
Which
been
body part
recording
is
way
it,
too
man?
long. All right.
Just
We
my
should
left
end
Now
it.
it's time for a commercial break.
Break.
We're definitely going to need those commercial breaks now.
Well, we got 3, yeah. So
Yeah.
Only 3?
well, 3 that I wrote down.
Is it almost midnight? I
If
gotta get
you,
up here in
is.
6
if
and a
you
half hours.
enjoyed everything that we did, and why would you? Because this was a super long, extended show. You can send us.
Now we gotta do
you,
the patron show.
you,
Nope.
you can send
Fuck
us
them.
your
As we
emails.
ask for more.
Specifically, if you're not Randy, you can send us your email to rcadcast@gmail.com. We would appreciate that. We would read it on air and do
Once
whatever
again,
we
it's
do.
RCAD
Cast
Cast.
at gmail.com.
I
That's
think I
correct.
set it up, so I should know it.
Rate and review us on iTunes if you'd like. There are a few patrons that make this show possible. At this point, Chris is going to not look at his phone. I feel like a teacher calling up. There is a theme. There is a theme to these, so I will try to. Here, I'm gonna make mine. There we go. Ready?
Tasty tack.
Oh, I like that.
Delectable Eckhart. That one is rad because it looks like you cut up pieces out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, because the green.
There's
Oh,
the green,
yeah.
the green
Yeah.
screen. There.
That's
That's
cool.
Yeah.
At first I said, did he cut that? I realized.
I was trying to make it like
No,
kind of
he's-
lazy, you know. So
Edible Ed.
Ooh, I like that.
Chocolate chip. Is that grandma?
Yes,
they're-
we're
the name, the words are like or letters are like chocolate chip cookies, Ed. So
Oh.
Mouth watering Maggie.
Hmm.
You perv.
this is my favorite.
Fucking simp.
Okay, I wanted to go for Munchable Maggie, but I thought that was kind of
Yeah. Even worse. Yeah.
Juicy Joanne.
Joanne.
with bubbly letters too. So
Who's recovering from she broke her arm or something?
Oh,
I can't
really?
remember. Yeah, she had surgery. I can't remember what it was though. I apologize, Joanne.
if she makes it this far in the podcast, we wish you well, and hopefully you've laughed along with us.
You imagine like what whenever this gets released, like someone going, "Fuck, 2.5 hours, God!"
Who wants to listen to that?
Nobody.
It's just Jack yelling commercial break every 5 minutes.
Someone had to.
Mm.
Hey, this show going long is not my fault.
It's Matt's fault.
Thanks everyone for joining us live, and we'll see you next week.